Huge day for Best Ball Breakfast. Of course, we have the usual 4 drafts. We'll be doing a solo draft. We will welcome Adam Levitan on. We will have Sam Sherman back in the saddle. And then subbing in for Karain today, none other than Ron Stewart. But we also have other big news. We have a coffee sponsorship that we are about to debut. Shout out Vassaleros and Bros Coffee here, Vassaleros and Sons Coffee. And on top of this, we have the So You Think You Can Tout finale today, immediately following Best Ball Breakfast. So 4 straight hours of Best Ball drafts, followed immediately by the So You Think You Can Tout finale. It's going to be a great day. I'm Pete Overzet. This is Best Ball Breakfast. Let's do it.
Welcome to hot Best Ball summer. You slurp that suspension dipparino, honey?
Easy to click on Rashad White when it's all site credits.
Exodia.
Put the puppy in the bag, bro. Try to grow the goddamn game.
The game is beatable, folks.
Slap King Summer, bitches.
7,000 hours of commercial-free Best Ball drafts starts now.
All right, GMs, and boy, do I need the coffee today. I love that I called it Vassaleros and Bros because I have Best Ball Bros on my mind here. But for real, we do have a new sponsor on the channel. This is not a bit. This is very real. They had reached out to me. My guy, B-Stock, who's in the chat here, they sent me some samples. We hammered out the details. Been loving the coffee, Vassaleros and Sons Coffee. We have a link pinned in the chat. It's also in the description. You can now get 25% off your first order with promo code Pete. You also will get free shipping. Check it out. And in addition to this, we're going to do a few giveaways throughout the stream today. Give some of you guys a chance to try out their coffee for free. I've been drinking it exclusively for the past month. It's delicious. I love it. This has been my go-to, just their dark roast here, but they have all kinds of different options there. And yeah, I mean, it's too perfect. It's been a long time here, a long time coming on Best Ball Breakfast, and we did it. An official coffee sponsorship. Vassaleros and Sons, our go-to for all of our coffee needs. And how are you guys doing in the chat this morning? GMs, what is up? How are we doing? And I need a coffee pour right off the rip. If you saw on Twitter, I mentioned it. I just got back from Austin, Texas. We were there for the ship chasing meetup this weekend. Great time. You can go to the ship chasing Twitter page to see a bunch of photos if you missed some of that action over the weekend. But my flight kept getting delayed coming back from Austin. I didn't get in until 2, didn't get to bed until 3. And then I had a toddler waking me up at 7 a.m. So we are running on fumes today, but more importantly, we are running on Vassaleros and Sons Coffee. Let's get our first ever official sponsored coffee pour here, guys. Boom. All right. How are we doing, guys? How are we doing? I have, we had some drafts going over the weekend. They were tied in premium drafts. So, I was focused on that. I have been doing some of my slow drafts, getting in all of my eliminators. But I think it's time to get back in the BBM streets here. I think it's time that we continue on this journey to max BBM all on stream. I need to go and check which draft number this is for me. I think it's like 105. I'm on a good pace here. This is also a good time to mention that we will be adding a Best Ball Breakfast on Wednesdays for the rest of August until the season starts. So Wednesdays, so it'll be what, the next 4 or 5 Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, we will have a kickoff. And on this Wednesday, I will be joined by the winner of So You Think You Can Tout, along with a couple other special guests there. So if you liked 4 hours of Best Ball Breakfast on Mondays, then you're going to like probably 3.5 hours of Best Ball Breakfast on Wednesdays. And we will get a rotating crew of guests. The Monday block will stay the same. We'll have our same lineup as usual. And then Wednesdays, we'll be bringing on some fresh faces, some old friends, all of those shows that you guys come to know and love in the month of August. So all kinds of drafting on tap here. I need to get all organized here. Need to get my my solver up here. We got the 106. We got the 106 here today. And it seems like we've had some news over the weekend. You guys are going to have to catch me up. I was a little unplugged over the course of the weekend here. I know we had some like injury concerns about Kyle Monangai for a bit. Although I saw this morning that they just say he's day to day. All right, we are back on the clock here. CMC, I have 11.8%. Amon-Ra, we'll take CMC here. We'll keep playing it right down the middle. We don't have to get fancy quite yet. It's too early, and I'm too tired to get fancy right now. I'm going to check my solver settings here. We got ADP weight medium, team stacking importance slightly higher than medium. How sad, week 17 importance just down here. We'll boost it to low. We'll boost it to low. All right, I think we are good there. Let me confirm what draft number this is. I believe this is 104 or 105 BBM. Oh, 103. 103 here. We did a couple on the Bash last Thursday, so this is my 103rd draft. If you guys are joining me in a bunch of slow drafts, I do highly recommend getting in those now if you want to avoid when the clocks shorten. So for people who aren't familiar, at a certain point, Underdog has to shorten the clocks for the slow drafts to ensure that they finish before the start of the season. Michael Dubner did a post on this recently. They speed up the slow draft clocks on 8/26, which seems far away. The issue is if you want to enter a slow draft now, you want to make sure that it doesn't get to the point where you're still drafting by 8/26, because that's just when it gets really tricky. So Dubner suggested do your last batch by August 6th to be safe. All right, we are back on the clock here. We have a CMC team. This is the spot where I will check some of my combo exposures. I do not have CMC with any AJ Brown. We have a little Drake London CMC. Let's do a CMC AJ Brown team here. So yeah, this is your PSA. If you do want to join the slow drafts and you want to avoid those overnight clocks going from, 10 hours to 5 hours or whatever, get in those slows. Here's some more injury news, keeping me up to date. Kincaid left and returned to practice 5 minutes later. Monangai is back practicing today. Carry on. Thank you. Sounds like I didn't miss anything. Sounds like I didn't miss anything. Many such cases. Many such cases. All right, let's get the draft board going. I feel so rusty today, guys. I do not feel dialed in today. This is going to be a struggle. This is going to be a struggle today. CMC AJ Brown. But we got our coffee. We got the chat. We'll power through. We will power through. What is up, Fantasy Football Garage? I got to tell you what. You guys want to talk? I mean, there were a lot of fun subplots to the ship chasing weekend. But Fantasy Football Garage, I mean, he was the MVP of the weekend. Let me make this pick here. What do we want to do? McBride's kicking around. I don't mind McBride at these prices. McBride at 3.6. I think I'm in. I think I'm in there. We'll go CMC, AJ Brown, McBride to start. But Fantasy Football Garage, local there in Austin. Guy's an absolute unit. He's like 6'7". He's out there crushing it, playing pickleball. Then we're out on the lake, and he's out there wake surfing. He rolls up to our meetup on his own boat, and then he's just the nicest guy. So shout out to Fantasy Football Garage, one of our great hosts this weekend in Austin. Great meeting you guys. Some of you are looking forward to the shorter clock. I have an idea. If you like the idea of a shorter slow draft clock, Christian, you will love these things called fast drafts. It's incredible. It's a 20-second clock. It's almost as short as it could possibly be. I recommend checking it out. Nabers. Yeah. So Nabers stuff. I mean, Nabers just went at pick 23 here. The days of Malik Nabers in round 4, ooh, they are long gone. They are long gone. He is now rocketed past the 2-3 turn and is routinely now going in this range. He's got to flip Nico, AJ Brown soon, right? I mean, I could even see him flipping Achane. I mean, Nabers is going to be what? Pick 16, 17 very shortly. And then who knows, like this run of running backs here that we've just had basically all summer, Genty, Hampton, Brown, Cook, Walker, Henry, Barkley, Achane, it has been begging for a wide receiver to get mixed in there. And that man is going to be Malik Nabers. I'll still, I always like playing a little bit of chicken with it. Could I have taken Nabers there with CMC? But I think you'll have some ample opportunities to get CMC Nabers, at least over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, it's start getting him with Gibbs. Start getting Nabers with Gibbs and Bijan, because I don't think that's going to be there for that much longer. All right, we're back on the clock. Let's just value hound it here. We'll do a little Tetaroya McMillan. I do have 13.2% McMillan. I have 10.5% McLaurin. I could also go Scatabo in this range, but let's go with Tetaroya. I think this is a nice value here. ADP 39 falls to 43. So we have CMC, AJ Brown, Tetaroya, McBride. Not sure why we have AJ Brown not showing an ADP on my screen right now. Olave got the extension over the weekend. I know, I keep seeing clips too of him and Jordan Tyson. New Orleans Saints Twitter account. They have like very dramatic posts. It's like Tyson and Chris Olave next to each other on the field. And it's like iron sharpens iron. It's like, relax, New Orleans. It's just training camp. They're just doing drills in shorts. Steve, did I see the flock showed up? Yeah, we had a get together on Saturday night. Mason Dodd and Sal Vetri swung by. Very nice of them to do so. Both very friendly dudes. And we were getting the lowdown on the upcoming flock league. And there might be some announcements soon regarding that you guys will be interested in hearing. All right, this draft is absolutely ripping. You guys are out of control here. All right, Adams goes. So we are looking at one of these running backs here. Henderson, Judkins, Bucky. I generally go Bucky in this range. I have 10.5%. Henderson has been the faller a little bit. We can do the Henderson fall. We'll double up on New England here. I don't think I have any AJ. I'm wondering how much AJ Brown Henderson I have. Look at that. I don't have any AJ Brown and Trevion Henderson. So we'll do that. You can get Henderson a little cheaper than this. I have seen him now fall all the way to the end of the 5th, but we'll grab him at 5.6. And so we got CMC Henderson at running back, AJ Brown, Tetaroya at wide receiver, Trey McBride at tight end here. Ooh, Charles, drink of choice over the weekend. I would say my favorite go-to over the weekend was Spicy Margs. Had a couple really good spicy margaritas. Had a very good, what was it? It was a strawberry basil margarita I had on Saturday night. So yeah, I was taking advantage of all the good margaritas there in Texas, but there were plenty of Modelo's mixed in. Look at this. We have Rolu Koya. Hopefully I got that username right. Ordered 2 bags of the coffee. Thank you, sir. Enjoy it. Yeah, man, the food, we had awesome food this weekend. Went to Terry and Black's barbecue when we got in. That was as good as advertised there. I loved the ribs. We had lots of good Tex-Mex. Very much enjoy Austin. Nick, how excited was April about Deebo? She was very excited. I actually posted a video in the Discord of me telling April that Deebo had found a new team. Although I will tell you, I asked her, I said, does this mean we have to stop drafting DeJon Stribling? Is he donezo? And she said, he's donezo. So, you know, take that for what you were. But she is a little biased. She's the world's biggest Deebo fan. So she was always going to be skeptical of the rookie. This is the obvious Drake Maye pick, right? We're at 6'7" here. It's right at ADP. We're all in on the Pats on this build. Drake Maye, Trevion Henderson, AJ Brown. We have CMC, Ted Arroyo, and Trey McBride. Yeah, Achievers, we missed you. I even had a lanyard made for you, sir. We thought you were coming. Going to try to swing it next year, serious FOMO. Yeah, it was a fun time. Oh my God, rumple shots with Pat. Yeah, Chris, someone tried to get me to do a rumple shot. And I'm generally pretty agreeable, but I had to draw the line there once I learned what a rumple shot was. That's how I know I'm either washed, I'm old, or I'm maturing. I turned down multiple shots. I used to not have the willpower to do that. This time I said, that's going to be a no for me, dog. I must live to see another day. All right, 7-6 here. We got the 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. Oh, this range of the draft, right? Chuba, Harvey. I do DK Metcalf so much. Let's grab another running back. I've been trying to get some more Harvey. I'm at only 2.6%. He was definitely one of those guys that I have struggled with, and I'm not being really price sensitive with him here, just more looking at my exposures and being like, do I want to be at 2.6% RJ Harvey? We did that exercise on ship chasing a couple weeks ago, looking at the ambiguous positional groups that we thought could yield league winners. And it's easy to see how one of Harvey, Dobbins, or Coleman could really smash their ADP with just how good that offensive line is. The leap I kind of think this offense is going to take this year. Nick sounds fully healthy. Obviously, Waddle in the fold. I think the scary part and why I've been hesitant on Harvey is just the fact he could get squeezed in both directions. If he's losing, he's obviously going to lose base work and goal line work to Dobbins. He's going to probably lose some long down and distance and third down stuff to Coleman, who they seem to really like in that respect. But do you just want to be in the same way I'm in on Henderson in this draft? That's funny. I'm stacking the 2 overdrafted year 2 running backs, but they're just bets on their team, which actually makes me wonder here at pick 102, maybe could be in the market for Bo Nix. And then I wouldn't mind. I have not been big into, I guess I have been kind of on Sutton. I'm now looking at my exposures. I was like, I haven't been into Sutton, but I have 10.5%. So maybe I am big into Sutton, but he would make sense here. We could basically get the Patriots quarterback, running back, wide receiver stack in the Broncos quarterback, running back, wide receiver stack. That is true. We do have the week 17. I definitely need to be reminded of that. Sutton does go. Man, am I going to start slurping this Alec Pierce dipparino? I probably should, right? What's the latest on Alec Pierce? Do I need to start slurping this up? We'll miss 1 to 2 more weeks. Probably going to be fine. Did Downs flip him in this draft? Yeah. Okay, so Downs now at 83. B-Zigs, oh my God, this is the most sidekick-ass draft ever. Look at this. Genty, Cook, Javonte, Jacobs, Bucky Irving. We know B-Zig's rolled out of bed with the sidekick today. But I'm getting an Alec Pierce share. CMC, A.J. Brown, Trey McBride, Teteroy McMillan, Trevion Henderson, Drake Maye, R.J. Harvey, Alec Pierce. The bottom's in on Pierce. You know the bottom's in on Pierce if I'm finally clicking. B-Zigs, be nice to you. People are fired up about the sidekick. You can go read the comments from last week's show with Pat. What did we take? Tony Pollard as our RB6 or 7. It is funny though. I was responding to a few of the comments where, people are, really pissed about the tool and they say it's, a scam or something, which whatever, have your opinion on it. But it goes back to that thing of people want to be right more than they want to win. Because if you thought there was a popular tool that was actually bad, you would want all of your opponents to use it. You would be celebrating it. You would be shouting it from the mountaintops. Everybody use the sidekick. All of my ops use the sidekick. But people are dumb. They say, don't use it. It's like, if it's bad, don't you want people to use it so your teams are better? Is Xavier Worthy okay? Or do I want to switch to Knicks real quick? I grabbed Xavier Worthy. It was funny. We were doing the drafts over the weekend, and I had selected Xavier Worthy on the team I drafted. We were doing FFPC best ball style setting, so it's tight end premium, 20 rounds. And I had Mahomes. And it was like right as the news was breaking that Xavier Worthy had hurt his shoulder in practice. I'm like, oh God. And then by the end of the drafting day, the news came out that he was going to be fine. So are we still clicking Xavier Worthy? Have there been updates on it? People talking about Parker Washington. Oh my God. I mean, the drumbeat, I don't even think drumbeat is the right word. A drumbeat sounds like kind of soft and tinny. This is a fucking gong that they put right by your head, and some 400-pound man just keeps banging the gong. You want to fade Parker Washington, Pete? Bong! You're really going to keep fading him to select Travis Hunter in round 13? Bong! Lost my headphones on the Parker Washington gong beat. Respect the gong. Oh, this is the worst feeling. Nothing worse than finishing up active slows with Pierce Hall on the roster. Seeing that first 0 there, it's brutal. Give me George Kittle. Give me him. Yeah, we're going to do George Kittle. I should probably take Rachaad White, but come on. George Kittle, CMC, let's do it. Man, those... the Niners really doing themselves no favors with all of these injuries, and then all of the training camp photos. You see the substation in the background. I mean, it's so good. Like, this being the backdrop. At this point, you do just have to move the practice facility. It's just a practice facility. It's just a field. Like, it doesn't, I think purely for optics, San Francisco, that you have to go somewhere else. Even get some kind of bubble around it, some kind of quasi indoor facility. You can't be having the electrical substation in the background while simultaneously having every single player on your team injured. We just live in an era where you give the conspiracy theorists an inch, they're going to take a mile. And this isn't giving them an inch. This is giving them the mile to start with. You can't be doing this. You can't have that in the background and then try to beat the allegations. What am I going to do with my quarterback 2 here? I guess Daniel Jones will be live. Baker Mayfield is sliding here. We might, yeah, let's just slurp this Baker Mayfield dipperino. We can do Jalen McMillan. We can do Cade Otton. We can do Ted Hurst. Let's do Baker here at pick 126. Ow. Ow. Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey, Trevion Henderson, RJ Harvey, AJ Brown, Ted Arroyo, McMillan, Alec Pierce, Xavier Worthy, George Kittle, and Trey McBride. Romeo Dobbs went at 110, of course, to B Zigs. Of course. I don't think how much Mayfield have I been drafting? I don't think I've been drafting a ton of Mayfield. But he's honestly a pretty good backstack now with Hurst being pretty viable. I haven't been a huge McMillan guy, but this seems like the spot to get back in on him. Daniel Jones on an Alec Pierce team certainly makes sense. Like if the Alec Pierce thesis is really hitting, we're going to be having a bunch of long touchdowns, you would think. Pete's going to have a time to draft a Badge Bro Brawl before your first guest? I might. Who took McMillan from me? 133? Come on. What's McMillan's ADP? 145? Come on. Just because I say I was going to backstack him, you have to go and take McMillan at 133 for no fucking reason? Come on. You have Herbert. If you're going to reach, just take Trey Harris. Come on. Grow up. Grow up. Fine. I guess I'll just take Travis Hunter. Actually, I'll take Rashid Shaheed if he's here. But if not, I will take Travis Hunter. Don't make me do it. My ears are still ringing from that Parker Washington gong. All right, fine. I'll take Shaheed. We're just going to keep slurping these dipparinos. It also gives us another quarterback stack here. We can do Darnold with Shaheed. We can do Dimes. We also can do Bryce Young with Ted Arroyo. So we got some good quarterback options here. CMC, AJ Brown, Trey McBride, Ted Arroyo, McMillan, Trevion Henderson, Drake May, RJ Harvey, Alec Pierce, Xavier Worthy, George Kittle, Baker Mayfield, Rashid Shaheed. These guys always come out of the chat, the snipers. You never see them. You never see them around. And then they come out to defend themselves. B Sure says, ha, look at my build. I need any wide receiver I can get my hands on. You're taking Jalen McMillan over Rashid Shaheed straight up? I don't know about that, dog. I don't know about that. This is a sore subject, Charles. He asked, did I max the Chow Chow? So on Friday, I'm getting ready to go, and I'm like, all right, I will enter 10 Chow Chow slows, and then I'll do 5 fast drafts while traveling. So I do one, in my Uber to the airport. I do another waiting for my flight. And then I land in Austin. I was going to do another one while making the way to the hotel, and then the contest filled. The contest filled. So I have 12 Chow Chows. Are you kidding me? Now you're going to give me Travis Hunter again? Again? Fine. Fine. Yes, I will take Travis Hunter. We're just value hounding, folks. Shaheed, 9 picks past ADP. Travis Hunter, 9 picks past ADP. Drake May and Baker Mayfield at quarterback. CMC, Trevion Henderson, RJ Harvey at running back. AJ Brown, Ted Arroyo, Alec Pierce, Xavier Worthy, Rashid Shaheed, Travis Hunter at wide receiver. Trey McBride, George Kittle at tight end. Although all of my quarterbacks got wiped. That's how I got Travis Hunter. I'm making such a novice streamer move. I've been telegraphing what I'm going to do. Not even telegraphing, just saying what I'm going to do. And then boom, Darnold goes. Danny Dimes goes. I guess that would have been a pretty big fall for some of these guys. I don't necessarily need a QB3 here. It's fine. It's fine. KD asked Deebo or Stribling. Probably Deebo, man. It's got to be Deebo. I mean, it's kind of concerning. There's still definitely room for Stribling to get on the field and play, but a lot of the things that Stribling does well, being a physical yards after catch guy who the team is excited about his blocking ability, isn't that Deebo Samuel? DeJon Stribling could be anything. He could be Deebo Samuel. The counter is, fat Deebo, he's cooked, yada, yada. But I don't know, man. Probably going to be hard for Stribling to outproduce Deebo, at least early on. And I think you just probably want to play it how the market's going to play it, where Deebo is going to be much more expensive. So if you are on the Stribling side, get your Deebo shares now, because you see here, Deebo at pick 134. And what, is Stribling still on the board, or did he go? No, he went to. Where did Stribling go? He went 149. All right. Do we take Bryce Young here as our QB3? I mean, we certainly need some more running backs, but I do like a little Bryce with Ted Arroyo. You know me, a little treat, a little third quarterback stacked up to get me through my Monday. Boy, do I have a case of the Mondays today, guys. I will say, getting woken, if you are going to get woken up after 4 hours of sleep, having it be from your little girl, your 3.5-year-old toddler that you missed over the weekend, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. If you'll allow me to be sentimental for a second. Speaking of a guy who's going to keep rising, right? We're going to get the Sharps rise. It's not going to be quite Malik Nabers level, but as people really start warming to him coming back sooner rather than later, you got to think Sharps inches up, because there's basically no resistance for running backs in this range. Bigsby, Sampson, Coleman, Marks. Like, you can move from basically anywhere round 14 and lower. If you're a running back, you can move up to this Tracy Keaton Mitchell level pretty fast. There's just no resistance as far as running backs go. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Sharps stuff continues to be really positive if he inches up back in that territory. Speaking of running backs, holy shit, this got wiped. Holy shit. We're at pick 15-6, and I'm looking at Sean Tucker, which I guess I'm going to do. So much, all that value that I got on those wide receivers, I'm now having to give it back to this running back room. I just took Sean Tucker at pick 174. But I have Baker. I need some more running backs here. I do want to work on this Tampa Bay back stack. We didn't get McMillan, but I'm still interested in Ott, and I'm still interested in Hurst. Oh, that's a tough scene. Jason says power went out while on the clock in round 17. Autoed Ricky, and I about died. That's brutal. Yeah, Jaden Blue, not quite a Parker Washington gong beat, but it's a pretty loud drum beat on Jaden Blue right now. Pretty loud. He went one pick before I selected Tucker here. Yeah, I'm just at peace with it. I'm too tired. I'm too tired to be coy, to be stealth. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hope that you let me do it. Wow, Sean Tucker in the chat. Sean Tucker 8297. I'm ready, Pete. Don't worry. Imagine having a chat just filled with the NFL players and them commenting on your draft. Every single dude would be pissed that they didn't go 101. All right, we have a 3-4-6-2. I don't technically need Otten here. How do I want to play this? I do want another running back. Let's do Marshawn Lloyd's like one of the last guys I can even stomach up here. Let's just do Marshawn Lloyd before this gets nasty. So we'll probably just shut it down there. CMC, Henderson, RJ Harvey, Sean Tucker, and Marshawn Lloyd. I'll say a prayer for that running back room. Yeah, I don't know what happened in this one. People were thirsty. Bigsby went 154. Sampson went 153. I guess I did wait a long time. I took RJ Harvey in the 7th, and then George Kittle was probably my fatal flaw. I probably didn't need George Kittle. Who could I have taken? Yeah, I could have taken Rashad White or Bill there, or Aaron Jones. Now the question is, what's more important for this team, Hurst or Cade Otton? I kind of like Hurst, honestly. I mean, I have McBride and Kittle. I don't need to force Otton. Let's do Hurst as our wide receiver 7. And then if Otton falls, no, he immediately goes. That's fine. I'm not going to go home. I'm not going to be laying awake in bed tonight being like, fuck. Oh, you didn't get Cade Otton as your tight end 3. But I might lay awake tonight if I had taken Cade Otton and going, fuck, I didn't get Ted Hurst as my wide receiver 7. That's how I make all decisions. Thinking when I lay in bed tonight, recapping this team in my head, what decisions will give me the most regret? And then I do the opposite. Are we seriously doing Jaden Blue in the 14th round now? Well, this is what I was just saying. There's no resistance in the ADP. Like, it's not even, all it is going to take is a little bit of positive news for any of these late guys. Like, take Marshawn Lloyd, for instance. Say we got some news report or there was video surfacing of the Josh Jacobs incident, and there was like rumblings of NFL to make decision about Josh Jacobs soon. Like, Marshawn Lloyd would just immediately rocket up 4 rounds. Or you can do any of these things, like Bijan Robinson is dealing with a hamstring injury that could linger throughout the preseason. Brian Robinson's going to shoot up 4 rounds. Like, it's very thin there. So I wouldn't have crazy sticker shock about any one running back moving up because there's just nothing preventing them from doing so. 3-5-7-2. Is there any correlation stuff? We obviously have Denver, New England. Tampa Bay week 17 plays the Rams. I don't think I have anything there. Ooh, how about this? How about this for a new click? Are we doing a little Xavier Legette now with Brazel done for the year? A little Legette? A little double stack with Bryce? I think he's on the menu, right? I think Legette's on the menu. Who else am I going to do? The same guys I click every single day of my life? Let's do a little Legette. 3-5-8-2. I think I like this team. Wish I would have gotten. I probably should have done one of those other running backs, Minnesota running back, Bill, instead of Kittle, and then prioritized Otton. And I could have done like a late 3 tight end build along with McBride. But I just had to have George Kittle. I legitimately disagree with this. Jack says Legette is not on the menu, man. Why isn't Legette on the menu? We draft wide receiver 4s and wide receiver 5s on other teams. I think we can draft the wide receiver 3 on the Carolina Panthers, whose skill set is going to be boom bust, pretty touchdown dependent, who's going to have an extremely low draft percentage. The projection, let's see. I do have to upload new best ball projections. Let's see where ETR has Legette if they've updated. Xavier Legette, ETR 233. I think that's on the menu. 18th round click. It's on the menu, brother. You don't have to order it. By all means, get the chicken tenders. You and your 3-year-old level palate. Some of us are going to try the special, this week's special, and it's Xavier Legette. You don't have to like it, but it is on the menu. All right, let's upload some ranks. Got to get everything ready for Levitan. That's so funny. I didn't realize that when you search for a player and then download the CSV, it's only that player in the CSV. So the rankings I just uploaded is just Xavier Legette. All right. Let's try this again. Although that would be a pretty epic ranking set. Xavier Legette or bust. The most interesting man in the world, Xavier Legette. Let's go read some. Let's see what's good on the Twitter streets about Xavier Legette. Let's get some confirmation bias on Xavier Legette. Xavier Legette opens up about remodeling his childhood home. Okay, off to a good start. What a nice route and catch here from former Gamecock, Xavier Legette. This guy just really wanted to say Gamecock in this tweet. The Charlotte Observer says, Chris Brazel's injury affects Panthers. For Xavier Legette, it means 3 words. That's how you do clickbait, folks, because you better believe I want to know what those 3 words are. You better believe I'm clicking this. What are the 3 words? What are the 3 words? What are the 3? Okay, here it is, guys. Here are the 3 words. Dave Canales had a simple response to how Brazel's absence might affect Legette. It was 3 words, in fact. Business as usual. Business as usual. See, this now I don't like this title because the title made it seem like it was Legette who said the 3 words, but it's Canales. For Xavier Legette, it means 3 words. It's not business as usual for Legette. This is newfound opportunity for Legette. I hate everything about this. Anyways, I'm done looking at Xavier Legette news. Let's recap this team. Let's recap the 103rd Best Ball Mania draft. What's today's date? August 3rd. I can't believe it. August 3rd, guys. Can you guys believe it? Can you believe it's August already? It feels like it was just July. BBB solo. What did we draft? A 3-5-8-2? What was this? This was the big New England, little New England, Tampa Bay. All right, here we go. Here we go. Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young at quarterback. CMC, Henderson, Harvey, Tucker, Marshawn Lloyd. A.J. Brown, Ted Arroyo, Alec Pierce, Xavier Worthy, Rashid Shaheed, Travis Hunter, Ted Hurst, Xavier Legette, Trey McBride, George Kittle. Let's see. Let's check the draft report on this one. I kind of like this one. I mean, I did get a little boxed out at running back. Like, I think my RB4 should probably be a little better than Sean Tucker, but I think we can survive this. We're going to need a hit from either Henderson or Harvey. Going to need a big hit from one of those two. A decent amount of value at non-running back positions. ADP value 11.2, draft capital 14.9. Had to reach for Harvey, or I didn't have to reach for Harvey. I chose to reach for Harvey. I did have to reach for Sean Tucker and Marshawn Lloyd. But nice value here on the wide receivers. 9 spots on Pierce, 3.5 on Worthy, 9 on Shaheed, 9 on Hunter. We do have the week 17. Oh, Rashid Shaheed as the bring back on Bryce Young, Ted Arroyo, and Xavier Legette. Back in my day, we used to go out of our way to force week 17 correlation. Now we unpack it like a present that we forgot about. Oh, you're right, Solver. You're right. I did take Rashid Shaheed and then Bryce Young and Xavier Legette. You're right. I did do that. Very purposefully, in fact. Week 16, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Xavier Worthy. Week 15, New England versus the Chiefs. I like this team. I think good wide receivers like the tight end. Need CMC to stay healthy. Need a big hit out of Henderson and Harvey. And then need some standalone value out of Tucker and Lloyd. Easy game. Easy game. Let's do a coffee giveaway. Shall we? Shall we do a coffee giveaway? Let's do it here. Let's do it. We're going to do hashtag the poor. Hashtag the poor. If you would like to be eligible for a free bag of coffee, we have the New York City Classic Coffee. We have the New York City Bold Coffee. We have the New York City French Roast Coffee, the Italian Roast Coffee, the Brazilian Single Origin Coffee, the Colombian Single Origin Coffee, and the New York City Decaf Coffee. Boo! Decaf, boo! They also have the espressos. And then this is what I'm rocking, folks. I'm rocking the Pillow Pack here. You can get the 1 pound Pillow Pack, 30 pounds. Imagine that. $339. That's how you'd have coffee for a year. Hashtag the poor if you guys want to be entered into this drawing. If you win, I'll have you drop your name in the comments and a way to contact you, and we'll get you a promo code to get 100% off a free bag of Vassaleros and Sons coffee. $57 people want some of that sweet, sweet Vassaleros and Sons coffee. Hashtag the poor. Yeah, it's spelled for people listening audio. P-O-U-R. P-O-O-R is not eligible for this giveaway. Hashtag the poor. Please, sir, 1 puppy for me. Please, Numi, a $1 contest for me. No, the poor. P-O-U-R. 69 entries. Let's draw on that. 69 entries. Good luck. Good luck. We'll do another one of these later in the show too. We'll do 2 free bags of coffee today. So if you miss out on this one, who's it going to be? We got Ghost. X-Ghost AFX. Congratulations, sir. Contact me on Twitter, Discord, YouTube comments, and we'll get you a free bag of Vassaleros and Sons coffee. The new official coffee sponsor of Best Ball Breakfast. And like I said, Lord knows I need it this morning. In fact, in honor of the poor, in honor of Ghost, let's do another pour. Can't even do a giveaway these days. This is the society we lived in. Rigged. There he is, Ghost. Congratulations. The pour for the poor. Sour grapes if you didn't win. All right, we're going to have Levitan joining here in about 10 minutes. I'm sorry we don't have time for a Badge Bros Brawl. I thought we did. You guys want to do some slow draft picks with me? I did pretty good in Austin. You know, the thing is, here's the thing, right? You think about being in slow draft hell. You know, you're traveling, you're living your life, and you're like, man, am I going to have time? Am I going to remember? How am I going to integrate slow drafts into this vacation? Well, here's the thing. If you go on a trip where it's a bunch of other people who are also in slow drafts, it's not a weird thing to bust out your laptop and do a few slow draft picks. It really is the ultimate hack. If you're worried about the stigma of drafting fantasy football teams on vacation, just go on vacation with a bunch of other best ball sickos, and then it is completely normalized. So I did pretty good. I don't think I timed out on any picks. Look, speaking of Stribling, actually, let me get the ETR updated eliminator ranks in here too. Just make sure there's no funny business. Make sure that Xavier Legette is still in my ranks. Where are we here? Let's get some updated eliminator ranks. And then we'll rip some slow draft picks. Just being like, just super aggro titles for doing your slow drafts. I'm about to fucking crush some slow draft picks. Tap in now. Thinking of ripping some rumple shots and slamming in some eliminator slow draft picks, bro. Where are my Chow slows? I always try to bang out the Chow slows first. Just a little treat, you know, traditional best ball. Stribling about Stribling here on this team. I'm going to be shut out at quarterback if I'm not careful. Maybe we do go Bryce Young here. Let's get another quarterback. We'll let Stribling go for now. Do you know who I never click? I never click Jalen Naylor. I just can't. I'll dabble in a little Trey Tucker. I can't click Jalen Naylor. Like, I mean, what are we doing here? Jalen Naylor over Omar Cooper is just against my religion. Like, I'm not allowed to. It's like how Jehovah's Witnesses can't celebrate birthdays. My religion as a best ball player does not allow me to select Jalen Naylor. It's just one of those weird things. It's in the ancient text. I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to really figure out if the divine prophet who said you can't draft Jalen Naylor, if he was full of shit, if he was problematic. I'm just blindly trusting the ancient text that says, thou shalt not draft Jalen Naylor. Who are these people? Naylor is happening? What's happening? The fifth option on the Las Vegas Raiders is happening? How? How is that happening? How? It doesn't even matter if it does, though. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. The Eliminator 101. You want to talk about a layup? Whew. Jahmyr Gibbs. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. Who are you people? Naylor is the next JSN. You guys are off your rockers. I'm falling for the rage bait in the chat right now. Naylor is the skeleton key? The skeleton key to what? Your own casket? Ooh, look at this key that fits perfectly in here. Let me lower myself to my burial. Oh God, yeah, here come the money bros. 36 million, 23 million guaranteed. Yeah, the Las Vegas Raiders, who have never made any suspect decisions with their salary cap or their draft picks, they surely got it right on this one. What? I mean, you guys, who... I really can't tell if you guys are being serious or if I'm just getting rage baited. Colton says Tucker, Naylor, and Benson will be duh guys. Please don't say duh guys. G-U-Y-Z. 30% Naylor? I guess this is what happens when you have 8 running backs before round 9. 37% Naylor, Jake. You've been here all offseason worried about me getting enough running back points, and you're out here taking 37% Naylor? Look in the mirror, brother. Look inward. Take care. There's a parable in the Bible about fixing your own house before you look to fix someone else's. Go fix your own house. Fix your own portfolio, Jake. Okay, there we go. Now I can sense the sarcasm. I'd pick Naylor over Nakua and redraft. Dude, seriously, Davis. I mean, where did these guys come from? I didn't even know that. Like, I get the Parker Washington hype. Like, I get it. I truly get it. He was good for 3.5 weeks. Trevor Lawrence loves him. Liam Cohen loves him. The Jags social media team fucking loves him. I get it. You are getting shoveled Parker Washington propaganda down your throat every single time you open up your Twitter feed. So I get it. Where is this Jalen Naylor enthusiasm coming from? Where? God, I can't wait for Jalen Naylor to stick it to me this year. You can bookmark this. Clip it. Clip it. I'll always remember today, August 3rd is the day I launched a coffee sponsorship for Best Ball Breakfast, a seminal moment in this show's history. And also when I guaranteed that Jalen Naylor would be a hit in 2026 Best Ball. Those will be the 2 things we remember from this show. I got to go to the easy. So I just joined a bunch of eliminator slows this morning. Let's do the layups here. Puka or Naylor, guys, at 1-4. Puka or Naylor? I think we go. Do you start going a little CMC here? No, we'll play it straight. We'll go Puka. Yes, guys, I know Naylor got a lot of money. Lots of players in the NFL get a lot of money. Another Puka. All right, double Pukas in these early eliminator slows. I was thinking about it. CMC over Puka and a limb. We'll do Chase here. Bang out a few of the easy ones. These 18th round ones. Drake, Maye, Geno. Are we doing the booty thing? We have 3 tight ends. We have the 5 running backs. Drake, Maye, Geno Smith. Oof. Could we do? We could do some wrist up Shadur here. It's either Booty or Shadur. Rashee Rice, Waddle, Adams, Tyson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Travis Hunter, Dontavian Wicks. Week 11 bye. We only have one other week 11 bye. We can do Booty. Why not? I mean, Booty he's the second coming of Randy Moss, according to every New England beat reporter. New Cope tactic. If someone you dislike gets paid, just say everyone gets paid. They do, brother. I will say this. It is extremely bearish for the Naylor bros that the only thing that they are trumpeting about him being a good pick is the money he's already received. That's extremely bearish, guys. You're going to have to go workshop. The Naylor Hive needs to regroup. Come back with some targets per route run. Come back with how bullish you are on Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza. Maybe even workshop like, there's no way that Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, and Trey Tucker all stay healthy this offseason. You guys need to come with a little bit more to support your Naylor enthusiasm. It can't just be he got a contract. So Levitan's never late, and now I'm worried that he now I'm worried that he's not coming today. But I believe we're good. I'm going to text him. Maybe he forgot to write it down on his calendar. Well, the good news is if Levitan doesn't show up, we can just talk about Jalen Naylor for the next hour. All right, we're good. He's just tech lording. Let's go see how much Naylor I have after all this. I'm honestly curious if I've clicked him once. I don't have a single share of Jalen Naylor according to this. I think I might have taken him in one eliminator. I don't have a single share of Jalen Naylor across 134 teams. So don't tell me that I'm not putting my money where my mouth is. All right. Welcoming to the stage, my dear friend, Mr. Adam Levitan. I just riled up the chat because I just revealed that I have not selected Jalen Naylor once this summer. And I just realized there is a legion of Jalen Naylor bros. Are you part of the Jalen Naylor hive, or are you on Team Fade with me?
You know, Clint Kubiak had JSN and made him go nuts. Of course, he's going to make Jalen Naylor go nuts.
I already got he's the next JSN in the chat, so you walked right into that one.
I have my Best Ball Explorer, the solver portfolio tool. I'm happy to tell you guys how much I have of anyone.
Yeah, I want to know the Naylor. I want to know because I think you guys have like an okay rank on him.
I have 2.9% Naylor.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you guys are even slightly above ADP. So, you know, maybe I'm the one being too harsh on him, but I can't get there with the Raiders' fifth option or whatever.
I don't think he's the fifth option, but yeah.
What do you think he is? 4.5? I mean, it's good. We got Bowers, we got Genty, we got Trey Tucker. Going to be running a lot of 12 with Michael Mayer. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I have a lot on Michael Mayer, actually. I have 32.8% in fees on Mayer, 17.4% exposure, but 32.8 fees on Michael Mayer. Just as like,
that has to be DK round 20.
Round 20, all round 20. DK. Yeah, I mean, it's like there's not many tight ends you get the contingent value. In other words, if Bowers went down, Mayer he'd probably project as a top 10 tight end for us pretty easily weekly. And then you also, I mean, they're talking about playing a lot of 12. And so you get maybe a hair of standalone value too. So I think it's pretty good in round 20, actually.
Your audio doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't sound like you're on your normal mic.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Yeah. Maybe it's fine. It sounds like maybe it's like your computer speakers. It's not awful. It was just a little different.
I can understand.
Yeah. You're good. Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, I can't hear you now though.
Test.
Test.
1. There you go.
This is like Silva. I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
Did you see what happened to Silva when he started with the randomizer?
Give me a thumbs up if I can restart my computer. I think that'll fix it.
Yeah, go for it. Restart it. You're good. I'll handle the Jalen Naylor bros while you restart your computer. Look at that. If you guys, I did randomizer with Silva on Thursday, and The show literally started with him calling me on my phone, having sent me a screenshot of his monitor just bricked with an error message. He's like, I don't know what's going on. But don't worry, I tech lorded him through it. And I said, just turn off your monitor, unplug it, and plug it back in. And it worked. Can you believe that? It worked. But these two, man, these ETR boomers, Levitan and Silva, it's incredible they made it this far. Have built a massively successful business, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of combined followers on social media, defined personal brands, a community who loves them, and they can't fucking figure out how to broadcast. Oh, man. Oh, man. Here, should we look at, let's see what the Jalen Naylor propaganda is here for you guys, since today's show is now sponsored by not only Basileros and Sons Coffee, but Jalen Naylor. Jalen Naylor believes he's a complete receiver. I can do things on the outside, do things on the inside, run game, pass game. I feel like I can do it all, run the whole route tree. Ball coach _ Nate says, I checked my exposures and I'm at an even 8% Naylor. All right, is he back?
I don't know. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You sound good. You're on the right mic too.
Yes. I'm sorry about that, guys. I take pride in my tech lording, and I failed this morning.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I was saying Silva at the start, he called into the random, calls my cell phone. It's like, my monitor's broken. I have an error message, so I don't know what to do. That's how,
the company like supplies his tech lording, so we bought him a bunch of computers through the years, and Wiggins is like, me and Wiggins always argue about what we should send him because he's very used to PCs, but I feel like the Mac is so much easier to use, but he can't get it on the Mac because he doesn't have like Mac experience. But every time he has like a fail with the monitor, the computer, whatever, I'm like, man, you just got to have a Mac. Like, you just got to have a Mac. And Wiggins is like, he can't figure out how to use a Mac. It's not intuitive because you've used a Mac your whole life. I'm like, man, it's like, it's all too much.
I love that these are there's all of these different, projects you guys are trying to tackle. You're trying to grind every single micro edge to make your projections like 0.1% sharper. And you're trying to figure out which operating system is best for Evan Silva.
It's so much going on. It's crazy. By the way, I'm going to address this on the show. I saw a lot of questions like, where's Leone been? I know Leone's not doing, Pete's show this year, this show, and he has been on our show. I wanted to just say, Leone is good. Leone is fine. He has been unreal, along with the rest of the data side team, trying to make our projections better and like this offseason, like improving. Like we found some holes in the projections and like some of the distributions and some of the way things correlate and some of the way we project touchdowns and all this other stuff. And like, yeah, like doing shows is great. But if we're being honest, like the way we actually make money is the people buy our projections. You know what I mean? Like people spend money to have the most accurate projections. So that's what Leone's been working on. He's doing well. He'll be back soon on the show. We are going to record Man vs. Machine next week. So he will make his triumphant return for that.
Yes. You guys, essentially this offseason, you threw him into the ETR dungeon. You locked the door, threw the key, and said, do not come out until you make our projections 1.3% better than they were last year.
Well, exactly. We have like 5 people working on that full time. So yes, yeah, like 1.3% better. It sounds crazy,
it's huge.
But like it would make a huge difference. Yeah. So yeah.
So here's the question for you, because in the cash game streets, there's a little bit of art to science here. As the projections get better and better, does that mean you're going to IKB less and less?
I already can't IKB. If I try to IKB in cash, these freaks just yell at me. Why didn't you play the projections? I can't IKB. And then if I play the optimal, it's like, you idiot, that doesn't take any skill. You just played the optimal. So I can't win. I don't know what I'm going to do for cash this year.
I was going to say, yeah. Have you thought about it?
I don't think I can really kill the article. Like there's a lot of people that I think like aren't as deep that really like the article. Like obviously everybody knows what the ETR optimal is. That's like deep in the streets. There's a lot of people that read our stuff and it's a free article who don't know what the optimal is, you know? So yeah, I'll probably still do it.
Yeah. What if you, I do think like a fun version of the what I would enjoy reading would be, these are the 5 spots that I would be willing to IKB our projections, or that, you know, that could be a fun way to play it.
You talking about before the slate or after?
Well, you know, people would want it before, but sure, after too.
Well, we are adding a new show this year to the in-season product, a projections context show. So we're going to go over like 5 or 6 spots a week, hopefully either like Friday or Saturday, like 5 or 6 spots where we're like, man, like we're making a guess on these inputs and here's how we have it. Like Michael Wilson versus Marvin Harrison, or, you know, Rico Dowdle versus Chuba Hubbard last year would be good examples. Like here's our assumptions. If you guys want to play them differently, I think being transparent on some of those assumptions is good. So yeah, we're going to add that before the slate.
All right, Levitan, 104th BBM draft. We have the 102. The queue is set. Jahmyr Gibbs goes 101. You good with Bijan Robinson here?
Sure.
Don't say sure as if you're considering someone else.
No, I mean, you're the, like all these people that play BBM a lot, aren't they into like the diversity stuff? Like I'm not going to take Bijan 2 every time because I want to flip the board or whatever, you know, like
don't lump me in with the flip the board bros. Don't, come on. It is like real talk though with it. I was hanging out with Karain and those guys and over the weekend and doing a bunch of slow drafts. And so much of it right now is just not getting bored in doing suboptimal things, because you're bored having done this all summer. You really have to fight against that. Yeah,
I hear you for sure. By the way, my invite to the ship chasing party must have got lost in the mail, huh?
I would say, from my perspective, you and Silva and a lot of you guys have kind of positioned yourself in an adversarial respect to the ship chasers. I mean, to me, you guys are kind of persona non gratas at an event like that, but are you open to the ship chasers way? Would you want to be included in such an event?
No, I wouldn't actually. Is this like an annual thing? Like, like all the ship chasing community meets up and does drafts and stuff.
Yeah. We went, we've been doing it. We used to go to the Vegas and do like the FFPC drafts. And now because that's the weekend, right when the season's starting, it just got too hard. So now we pushed it up. We did Miami last year, Austin this year.
That's great.
I mean, it's been a while since you guys did, because I was out in Colorado when you guys had an ETR meetup a few years back. Have you done one since then?
No, not really. Not like a big one. No, it's great. I wish we did. And I think like in this age of like AI and LLMs and everything, like human, actually real life stuff is going to increase in value, including stuff like that. So I actually think it's great. We should do more of it. It's just trying to do a million things at once. It's just hard to execute.
That's right. All right. We got Bijan Robinson here at the start of this draft. We got some friends and family in here. Anything else that's been on your mind? I was a little unplugged over the weekend. Was there any big news that I missed? Stuff that should be on my radar? Some Menungai stuff I saw for a hot sec?
I mean, yeah, Menungai seems like he's fine. People keep like, even Underdog fell for like Dalton Kincaid got hit in the balls today. He like walks off and Underdog tweets about it, like we got to stop with that, guys. This is training camp. If guys miss a day, 2 days, even 3 days, it's probably fine, So yeah. Let me just go over.
Hang on. Let's make these 2 picks here because we're about to be on the clock. I have the queue set with ETR ranks. London, Pickens, Nico, Jeremiah Love here. London goes. So top by rank is Pickens, Collins, Love here.
Yeah, I kind of fell behind a little bit on Nabers. So sometimes I take Nabers in this spot also. If you want.
He's gone. He's gone.
Okay. Yeah. Then I probably do the back-to-back wide receivers here.
Okay. We'll go Pickens to start. Yeah, man, the neighbor stuff. He's already like, he's not here at the 2-3 turn anymore.
Yeah, I've been taking him there a decent amount. But I had 4%. It was 4% in like good numbers before all this new news. But gosh, I mean, he also correlates with Gibbs like at that 2-3 turn. Yeah, I think Love's going to keep slipping, but it would either be Love or Olave for me there.
Yeah. What's your gut say there?
Gut would be Olave. I think you're going to get Love cheaper later.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Yeah. What's your thought on the Olave? Because he's been one whose ADP bounces around a good bit. I think people are now mostly on board with, he's good to go from a health perspective. They've been telling us that. He's been telling us that. I guess it's just the specter of like, what if Jordan Tyson is really good?
Or what if Tyler Shuck sucks? Like there's definitely some holes. There's definitely some holes in Olave, and like I was mixed. I was taking Jordan Love there. Jeremiah Love there. More often than Olave. I just think people are spooked on Love, and now like it would not surprise me you can get Love in a week or so. Tyler Algier, they keep talking about, and I don't know that James Conner's gonna be gone. I do think Trey Benson's gonna be gone. So yeah, I just think he's gonna keep slipping a little bit.
This just in, they do not believe what you're selling. They're not telling you the truth. Free Mike Leone school walkout Monday, August 3rd. They're staging a protest to free him from the dungeon.
He's definitely not in the dungeon, but yeah. No, Michael Leone is freed for sure. And he's going to be on a ton of shows actually during the season this year. He's doing his Saturday night lineup building show. We're adding the man versus machine thing, and we're adding the projections context thing. So yeah, he's going to be very busy during the season.
Yeah, that's how the negotiation went. He's like, all right, I want a lot of time off this summer. And they said, all right, motherfucker, but you're going to be on air 24/7 the second the season starts.
I'm curious how you think about the Nabers thing. Like I said, I had 4% with an average pick around like 40 or 41 or something like that. I feel like I need to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also think people are now assuming that he's, we're about to pick soon, but my point is people are assuming that he's going to be 100% for sure. There's still some downside outcomes like with his knee for sure, so it's a tough spot.
Yeah, I know. And it's almost just like, do you just get as much now before he pushes up to the early second? Because that seems like it's going to happen.
I mean, yeah, unless he has a setback, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, tell Ron to get us some cheaper Nabers here. On the clock, McLaurin, Evans, Swift, Adams by ADP. Obviously, rankings always love Adams, McLaurin, Swift. What do you want to do?
McLaurin.
Yeah, that's our guy here. This one's actually good because Jaden, it would be a pretty big gift if he fell all the way back from this spot. So we get McLaurin, Olave, Pickens. We have Bijan here. The most options are at wide receiver, or structurally, do you say, hey, we should grab a Tootin here?
I take Tootin here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a pretty good couple weeks for Tootin. Not like anything crazy, but yeah, Chris Rodriguez is back in team drills. That was over the weekend while you were ship chasing. But yeah, I think Tootin, especially in BBM, is a pretty good bet there.
Yeah, so we get Tootin, our RB2. But yeah, on the Nabers stuff, I guess that is a good point, right? Where it's like we've seen the whole Nabers ADP is just completely responding to whatever the most news report is. And we could just as easily get a bearish one of like, oh, the Giants now decide they want to take things slow with him.
Well, yeah. And you saw what happened to Pearsall. I mean, they were like, Pearsall was fine all summer. And this is different. The PCL thing, he never had surgery. Like, I think Nabers is going to be fine. Like, he looks amazing running these routes. He's practiced on back-to-back days. Like, it's all positive right now. But we've seen guys come back from stuff like this and not be themselves. It's certainly possible. So, it's just tough because if Nabers hadn't been hurt or if it was a clean ACL, we would have had him in the top 12 of the rankings for sure. Like, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And I think everyone, and the other thing too, it's like we have that wall of running backs that go at the 1-2 turn. I think there's a lot of drafters in that range who would, love to have a wide receiver option that didn't feel like a massive reach. Like, it would not be shocking to see the Genty, Cook, Taylor drafters start to be like, yeah, I want to pair him with Nabers.
Yeah. I mean, if he's able to practice like back-to-back days and go hard, for a couple of weeks, like, yeah, we're going to keep moving him up. It's just tough. Like, I think someone in chat also mentioned, he has freaking Nagy and Harbaugh and these boomers, I still like him. I'd still take him in the top 12 if he was healthy, but yeah, there's definitely some downside risk too.
Right. And it's funny how that entire offense, it's like the only thing is that it feels like a house of cards injury wise with Scatabo, Dart obviously being the kingpin of that, and then Nabers, where it's like, if all three of those guys stay healthy for 17 games, they're going to melt fantasy faces off.
Yep.
But it also feels like if even one of them is out for a long duration, that the offense could really, really struggle.
Yeah. And I mean, their coaching staff is a joke too. So yeah.
All right. Bijan, Tootin, Pickens, Olave, McLaurin. We'll put Jaden in there. Jaden goes. So they're not going to let us do that again. That was our go-to. Price, Metcalf, Rhamondre by rank. I don't think we do Burrow. We could always entertain naked Hurts. What else do you like in this range?
Yeah, I mean, we probably wouldn't get Makai, or we definitely won't get Makai Lemon, but I'm willing to take Hurts here. I would have taken Price. He went.
I think we can aim for a Hurts Lemon and then not be distraught if we don't get Lemon.
Oh, we'll get Lemon here. Yeah, if you want to pull him up to 76. Yeah, what's Lemon's ADP? I like Hurts regardless.
Okay, yeah, we'll grab Hurts here. Lemon's ADP is up to 73.
Okay. Yeah, it's more like 88 on DraftKings. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's a little high for Lemon. Obviously, we're really low on rank. I like Lemon as a player. I'm worried about that we're too low on his rank, but certainly when I take Hurts here, I'm willing to take Lemon.
Yeah, and that one, I mean, I feel like I did read there's been some positive buzz on Lemon that they do want to get him involved, which is juxtaposed with the Stour stuff, right? Where they're kind of like, yeah, it might be a redshirt year.
Well, yeah, we thought that the whole time on Stowers, that it was probably a redshirt year. Like they brought Goddard back for that specific reason. Yeah, easy pick here on Lemon. I think if Lemon is actually good, they're just going to find ways to get him on the field, period. And so your bet really is like, is he actually really, really good? Because I do think Dontavian Wicks is probably going to start on the outside. Lemon will play in 3 wide receiver sets. But if Lemon's good, like that won't last that long. He'll be out there in 2 wide receiver sets. So yeah, we also have them like extremely run heavy. It's just tough from a projection standpoint. But yeah, I could see us being, if we miss on Lemon, clearly it's going to be too low, you know? So yeah.
Yeah. And I guess it seems like that is the one spot where if you are going to break, because you guys, your rank has him at 95, which would be him coming back to us in the 8th round. And then you get into one of those spots, right, where you're like, yeah, that's a pretty big reach relative to ranking value. But then you look at whatever player we take at pick 95 and you start to do the 1v1s. And it's like, can I win this 1v1 on taking Lemon around earlier? I can probably win that in certain scenarios.
More importantly, is this a tout show over yet, or is this still going on?
Brother, it's going to be over in about 5 or 6 hours. The premiere is right after Best Ball Breakfast, 2 p.m. Eastern, the live premiere of the
What
finale.
Is the final challenge? Is this like, what do they, I don't even know. What do they do on like the Survivor finale?
It was the Shark Tank pitch to me on what show they would do with me if they won the contest.
I bet some dude, you know, I tweeted something like I wanted $100 on Neil Farley. And like, I bet some dude, and yeah. So what happened to Neil and who's left?
Neil got bounced shortly after you bet on him. I believe the episode right after you bet on him, you mushed him. Yeah. So sorry. Unfortunately, the one thing that was going to keep you engaged in the show, although there are, you know, we were doing some trips down memory lane for the show in the finale, and there were a few Levitan clips there as a little callback to your episode. So
okay, well, I want to hear who's left after we pick.
Yeah. It's PPR Tyler, the Best Ball Bro streamer, Tony Squares, the really good host who was paired with Farley in the duo week, and Alex Cups, who was paired with Rambus, the guy that you said, get him off my screen. So
yeah, I remember all those guys. Yeah, they were all good for sure.
Yep. All right. At 8-11 here by rank, we have Godwin, Worthy, Fannin, Dart, Pitts. Who do you like?
Can I see running back quickly?
Yeah. Manungai, Dobbins, Gainwell, Mason.
I think Fannin or running back.
Yeah, let's grab Fannin here. I think get that tight end. And then to circle back to running back, are you going to cool on Manungai with the soft tissue stuff or not?
No, I think he's fine, but I prefer Dobbins anyways. Like if Dobbins stays healthy, he's going to smash this ADP. Obviously, like nobody thinks he possibly can, but yeah, I prefer Dobbins over Manungai. I wouldn't take Godwin with our wide receiver room here. I don't think I think Godwin's okay. I'm worried that he's had too many injuries to like really be a star anymore.
Yeah, that's an interesting one too, because I came away bullish like on Godwin listening to the Establish the Edge podcast on it. You want to grab Dobbins here?
I think so. Do you want someone else?
No. I like Dobbins. But yeah, I mean, it's funny too, because anytime I've done a pro Godwin stuff, like chat, people do not like taking Chris Godwin here. Like I still think there's room that he could lead that team in targets, and that the Ibuka stuff is just a little frothy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a very wide gap between them. I think Godwin is fine where he goes. I'm just like not excited about it. And I love Chris Godwin, like literally one of my favorite players ever.
Shout out PSU.
Yeah. And just like loves dogs and but he's had some really bad injuries, like, and he's, I believe, over 30 years old now. So yeah.
I do feel like we're starting to enter an era though, right? Like I know every situation is unique with these injuries, but if you were to paint it kind of black and white, it's like in new injuries that happen right now, like those are very bad, like, derailing playing time, start of the season, all of that stuff. These injuries that are in the rearview mirror, as we continue to see with Nabers, with Kittle, with Zach Charbonnet, like these timelines and what these guys are able to do, like almost across the board, they are ahead of schedule from what we ever previously would have assumed. Why aren't we giving Godwin that benefit of the doubt as well when the team's telling us he's fully healthy?
Yeah, he's just older and he's had multiple of these injuries, the broken leg and the ACL. But yeah, I don't disagree. My first thought was everybody I know out here, all these, like I hang out with a lot of washed up college and like pro and high school athletes out here, like really washed up, and everybody is on peptides and they all are like crushing me because A, I suck, but B, also like they're just they're a little bit younger than me and they're on these peptides. And I was like, it just hit me one day. I was like, oh, these NFL guys are taking peptides. But then I went on NFL site and I realized that peptides are banned. They claim they're testing for them, but like this BP 157 shit, I'm telling you, man, if that's what these guys are taking somehow and it's not getting caught by the NFL, that shit works. Like you're seeing like 40-year-old former athletes feel 2x, 3x better than they did previously just by injecting themselves with these peptides.
Are you having to now drug test your opposition for tennis props to make sure they're not on these things?
So I was playing Drew Shore. He used to play in the NHL, like, ridiculous athlete. He started beating me. I was like, and I was crushing him. I won like out of the first 30 times we played, I probably won 27. And lately he's been beating me. I'm like, dude, you're on fucking peptides, testosterone, God knows what. I'm 43 years old. I have fucking cancer.
I just had surgery.
Yeah. And so I've been losing lately. So yes, I want them drug tested.
There you go. All right. We are about to pick here again at 10-11. We have Hurts. We have Bijan, Tootin, Dobbins at running back, Pickens, Olave, McLaurin, Lemon at wide receiver, Fannin, Kittle falling, Dobbs.
What's the Goddard ADP?
Goddard ADP is much lower, 134.
Okay. What about Shuck ADP?
Shuck ADP, good question. 123. So we would need to do it with one of these two picks.
Yeah, I'd probably try to take him with the second pick. Yeah. Can I see running back?
Yeah, running back, we're in the C-Rod, Tracy, Keaton, Mitchell range. So yeah, that has gotten a little wiped as well. Yeah. But C-Rod with Tootin, we're probably not doing.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, normally I would take Kittle here. We kind of already burned it with Fannin, and I think we need Goddard, but I'd probably consider going 3 tight ends here, I guess. What do you think about that?
I'm just going to put Shuck in just to give us a little bit of extra time, since we're going to do that with the second one anyways. He might go Kittle having no tight ends, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I guess it's like, how exposed do you feel at running back? I guess Bijan, Tootin, Dobbins is a fine 3 here still.
Yeah.
So it's basically, do you want to grab like a wide receiver value and Dobbs, Concepcion, or just pull up Goddard for the stack?
When it's close like this, I lean wide receiver. I'd probably go Concepcion over Dobbs though. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. So we'll go double wide receiver. And this kind of gets at why the Lemon price is kind of tricky, right? Because it's like you have 2 first-round wide receivers who didn't go that far apart. And one of them you have to pick 74. The other, it's 122.
Yeah, I mean, Eagles are going to be very run heavy. There's no doubt. It's just like, if Lemon is actually legit good, I think, yeah, he's going to be like, I don't think it's going to be a bad price on Lemon. I don't think it's going to go like horrific, especially on DraftKings. This is a little bit higher. On DraftKings, he goes closer to 90 usually. Yeah.
Would you ever take him as a one-off, or is it going to be exclusively with Hurts on Underdog at this price?
Yeah, with our rank, it's pretty much exclusively with Hurts, but I take a lot of Hurts, so I take a lot of Hurts and Daniels.
Yeah, and then so you're looking back on the wide receivers in this range. It's like Wilson, Pittman, Sutton. I think it's fair to have to pay a premium on Lemon. It's just a weird thing with his price and being Hurts over there that you never even get a Lemon slide because the Hurts drafters take him a lot. So it's basically just, I mean, he's like the ultimate exposure blanket. You're going to want like 4 to 5%, mostly with Hurts, and you just suck it up in case he is this year's league winner.
Yeah. And like, look at the gap between like Lemon and Golden, like I think that's just like too wide of a gap. Like Golden goes really late there. He's going to be out there on every snap, I think, for Jordan Love.
So we have Hurts with Lemon, and we have Shuck here with Olave. How are you feeling about the Saints offense on the whole? Are you in on some of the other cheaper pieces? Are you doing the Kamara? Are you buying the splitting first team rep stuff?
No, I'm gonna am I talking no, I'm not talking forget if I'm talking about it today or not. But yes, I think Alvin Kamara was like a charity thing to bring him back. He was arguably the worst running back in the NFL last year. I do not think the Saints wanted to bring him back. I think they felt like there'd be a mutiny if they cut him, and so they bring him back. I only take Kamara with Shuck, and I don't even take him that much. I do like Juwan Johnson, though. I would put him in the queue, and I do like 20th round Vele. I take sometimes on DraftKings. I probably wouldn't do that on Underdog, but maybe if I needed a last round wide receiver in BBM.
We got some fallers here, ADP wise. Goddard does go. Tracy and Woody Marks are the running back fallers. I did put Juwan Johnson in the queue. You also have like the Omar Cooper, McMillan, Stribling range at wide receiver, and I will not mention Jalen Naylor. Tracy goes. What do you think here?
Yeah,
Juwan.
What'd you say?
Solver likes Juwan.
Yeah, we could probably get him at 146. I might take Marks here just to improve our running back room a little bit. If we hadn't taken so much wide receiver early, though, I would have taken Stribling here. I think he's going to keep rising. There's going to be more camp buzz, and it will not be long before Stribling is going in like the 120s, I don't think.
That's interesting. We are back here. So we don't have to force Juwan here if you don't want to. 156, he's probably not coming back. So it's basically, do you want Stribling or Juwan here?
I probably correlate with Juwan, but yeah.
I like that. The only reason I could see that not happening is just if the market kind of plays it as a one or the other thing with Deebo, and Deebo is kind of already rocketed up to that range.
Yeah. I think the market's going to like both. And like, we're going to have, there's going to be days where it's like, oh, Christian McCaffrey sat out practice today, or like George Kittle's having slow time with his rehab. And that's going to send these guys even higher, So I think that Stribling where he goes now is like going to be the lowest that you get him probably.
Shout out to all 813 of you watching live on Monday. We're here with Adam Levitan from Establish the Run. Also, if you guys want to get the solver, which you see up here on screen, you get the suggestions here if you have the ETR ranks. And then my favorite part, combinatorial tool here. I can go and see that 9.1% of my Bijan Robinson teams have Dejon Stribling on them, and none of them have Brenton Strange. So if I really wanted to make sure I had a Bijan Robinson, Brenton Strange team, this tool would alert me to that hole in my portfolio, and you can get 20% off with promo code Pete. Did you hear how big of a day it was for the channel? We announced our first ever coffee sponsor for the show, Adam.
Wow. What is that?
Vassaleros and Sons Coffee, the official sponsor of Best Ball Breakfast Coffee now. Don't laugh.
You know what we haven't talked about yet?
Uh-oh.
I'm talking to the richest guy that I know. And a lot of people are assuming, oh, Adam must have, if Pete Overzet and Jack Settleman and John Daigle and Bales and Jennings have Underdog equity, well, Adam Levitan must also. Let me assure you, as a man of the people, I passed on an opportunity to invest in Underdog seed stage because I said, I don't want people to think that I'm biased towards one platform. When you're a man of the people, when you have integrity like Adam Levitan, you say, I don't want everybody to think Adam's biased towards Underdog. He's an investor. He can't be objective in his analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could write one check, do nothing for 6 years, and end up with a 7-figure bag. Why would I want to do that when I could be buying Triceratops skulls and Jolly fucking Jokers and fucking Top Shots and fucking stupid ass shit? Why would I write a check to Underdog because of my fucking integrity and end up with 0 and watching Pete Overzet? I'm happy for you, Pete Overzet. Become the richest guy that I know.
We also both invested in Lucky Trader, and that worked out well for us.
We're on the clock. We're on the clock.
There is Kamara here. I'll put him on this Shuck team. TJ Hawkinson, Brian Robinson. We're gonna take Kamara.
I can't. You just take whatever. Why even live? Are you even gonna keep doing this show once this clears? I mean, what's
doing the show? I just got a coffee sponsor. Of course. All right, let's figure out this pick again, and then we can talk about how you didn't invest in Underdog because you were a hashtag DK partner at the time.
I wasn't.
You were working with DK then, weren't you?
No.
Should we get a wide receiver here? Ridley, Adonai Mitchell, Judy, Antonio Williams, Cup.
I like Mitchell most out of those guys.
Yeah. Let's grab Mitchell here as our wide receiver 6. Hurts, Shuck, Bijan, Tootin, Dobbins, Woody Marks, Alvin Kamara, Pickens, Olave, Terry McLaurin, Makai Lemon, Casey Concepcion, A.D. Mitchell, Harold Fan, and Juwan Johnson. No, there was a spot for you on that investor round, and then they gave it to Jeff Epstein instead. They were debating between you two.
Like when I'm watching and like people are sending me, like people are texting me, like normies, they're like texting me, and then like people are shoving this fucking graphic with a list of names down my esophagus. It's been like really tough to go on. Like my friend was like, man, what's worse? Like not like passing on the Underdog thing or thyroid cancer? It's not even close. Like it's really not even close. But yeah, and like but Jeremy is just unbelievable. I mean, I've known Jeremy a long time. He's absolutely unbelievable to get that done. So seriously, and all jokes aside, congrats to Jeremy and Pete and Peter and everybody. It's an incredible thing. Legit happy for the community being rich. I hope everyone doesn't like quit, but I'm legit happy.
Yeah, no, Jared. Yeah, I mean you said it in your tweet too. Like 6 years to create $1 billion company in 6 years in this competitive of a space is wild. Yeah. And I do think like I think you are a reliable narrator. You know, people say, Pete, you're biased. You're wearing an Underdog shirt, yada, yada. But people are very concerned about the games on Underdog. You know, a lot of from my perspective, the bad stuff that happened with the trimming and all of that, getting their books ready for the sale, all of that, like the bad stuff has already happened. Like the team that they have now in place, it is essentially a rounding error on their books. They're going to let these guys continue to cook. They're going to let them make best ball contests. I don't think we have anything to worry about right now. Not to mention the sale still is going to be months and months away from being final. But what are your thoughts? We'll make these picks. And I'm just kind of curious because you talked about it a little bit, the ecosystem, because there are a lot of people who I get why there's concern there, I should say.
Yeah, I don't think there's a correlation between content and the actual games. Like I was part of the DraftKings Pro program from 2015 to 2019 or so. And like once they shuttered the DraftKings Pro program, take whoever you want. Like
let's see here.
Not Fryermuth.
Are you a Marshawn Lloyd guy?
Yeah, take him. Yes. He's a good pick.
And then so we have a 2-5-6-2. I think we're probably good at quarterback. We're down to dust. And then tight ends also wiped out. So we're probably looking at another wide receiver here. Cup, Pat Bryant, Mooney, Booty, Thornton, Noel. Oh, do you want to do the Vele thing?
Is this BBM? Yeah, I would probably take Vele and BBM. Is this 18 though? No.
It's 17.
Yeah.
Is there someone else you want before him?
I might go Mayer Vele or Vele Mayer, but yeah.
I think we should be able to get Mayer. He's even slightly behind.
Okay. Yeah. So like when DraftKings decided to shutter the DK Pro program, like that did not have any effect on the games. Yes, it was like Hayden and Josh were incredible for promoting Underdog and getting people into the games. I don't think that like the problem when you don't do content and marketing around fantasy or best ball is it's harder to attract new players. Like when DraftKings was on TV, when Underdog was on TV being like, come play at DraftKings, come play at Underdog Fantasy, that makes a huge difference in getting new people into the games. But in terms of actually running the games, like I think the games can continue to run. I think they're going to be able to continue to run well, and like that'll be fine. But yeah, I understand why people are concerned. I do think that unlike the situation, and Cal tweeted about this, I retweeted it, like the situation that when Jeremy first sold Draft to FanDuel, they had a CEO change, and that changed everything. I don't think this is the same plan where the acquiring company is just going to immediately shutter Best Ball. Like, I do not think that's the plan at all. I don't have no inside information, but I do not think that is what will happen.
No, it's the fact that the Best Ball operation is so lean. Obviously, it made us upset at the time because we love the larger community and having devs and more people, coming up with ideas for games, yada, yada. But if the team felt fat to CEO, C-suite level people, that's when they're like, all right, let's slash this. But like, again, like it's going to work in our favor, I think, ultimately, that it is such a lean team that's able to do so much.
Yeah. And I mean, when you're preparing for like a sale, like you get paid on like a lot of this stuff is done on multiples of your EBITDA. And so if you shave a bunch of money off the books, your EBITDA is going to look a lot better, So it doesn't mean that they won't hire back people or whatever. It's all going to depend on how it goes for Underdog and prediction markets, and we'll see,
So when you guys have to shave at ETR to look attractive to a potential,
let me tell you, yes, there's dozens and dozens of people beating down the door for DFS and fantasy projections. Believe me.
All right. We have one final pick here. You have entered a much more chill era of drafting. We literally had to take whoever you want with no tilt, even within your voice. You're a new man.
Yeah. The time that I got really angry was on here when we were doing the big dog. Like, you want to burn your $25, burn your $25, but we're not burning $250 of my dollars and $250 of your dollars. I guess now you can. Pete can just go around burning $100 bills, 250s, 1Ks, no problem. But for men of the people, we need to be locked in for the 500s. For the 25s, take whoever you want.
So I guess that now's not a good time to say, were you ever going to do a big dog that we co-managed together?
Yeah, let's do it. I need to win. I need money. I need to win. I need to win the big dog.
Would you do a Stowers on a team like this, or is he dead to you? Pat Bryant, Kalen Black, solver suggestions.
Yeah, I think Stowers is kind of likely to be a 0, but on this team, I would take him. Yeah.
I have too much Stowers here. Seeing the 17.1%, there was a lot of Stowers clicking earlier this offseason.
Yeah. Well, pre NFL draft, Stowers was definitely a really good pick. It's just like the landing spot is tough, Yeah, I don't think he can play inline. So you're going to ask him, can he beat out one of Wicks or Lemon for routes? I think it'll be like special packages. Like maybe he gets 10 routes a game at first. And if he plays well, maybe he'll get more, but they're going to have to take a wide receiver off the field is my point. He can't really play inline.
So if that's true, then you think there's also not much contingent value. If Goddard went down, we get the Calcaterra thing and he'd just stay in the same role.
Yes.
Which isn't good because you want there to be a little contingent upside to a guy who's not going to play much. Yeah.
He'd probably play a little bit more and maybe he'll get better as a blocker. But like from what everybody's saying, including like prospect bros, scouts, Eagles coaches, like he's just not ready to block at the inline level.
So you're saying the contingent value for Stowers is someone like Lemon or Wicks actually getting hurt?
I think so. Or Devontae. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Stowers, like some of the prospect bros thought Stowers did like AJ Brown type things. Like Stowers is a sick wide receiver. There's no doubt.
Do you think is Hollywood going to be an issue at all, like stealing some routes, or do you think he's going to be a non-factor?
That's another reason that we're lower than market on Lemon. Like I don't think we should really let Hollywood Brown, like get cloud us. But yeah, he's going to make the team, and they're paying him a little bit. We gave him some targets, and once you start giving all these guys targets, it can be harder to get there.
Yeah, he doesn't crack your BBM ranks, which again, he's not draftable, but he could make Wicks be a little bit more of a landmine than any of us want him to be. But I would say the reporting and stuff on Wicks has been pretty encouraging.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to start. I think they're going to play plenty of 2 wide receiver sets, and Wicks will probably start there. But I think Lemon will overtake him. I actually think Lemon's really good. I think he'll overtake him. I mean, we have 100 ranked gap. It's just market is just really excited about Lemon. And yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I think I've been kind of going out of my way to try to get more wicks, even on non-Hurts teams. Just, I do think there's multiple ways he can get there. Like you said, fast start, maybe Lemons a little slower, and then still like 3 wide receiver set. Could he have a spike week in a big Eagles shootout in the playoffs? I could still totally see that, even with Lemon coming on.
For sure. And like, yeah, I've lost a lot of money on Wicks in DFS when he's gotten spot starts, like a lot. So I'm maybe a little bit biased against Wicks there too, where he's had some spots where he should have played really well for the Packers and he had crazy opportunity and just didn't, so that's at least in my mind also on Wicks.
Yeah. And it is interesting to just see, I mean, like the Packers treated him, like you said, there were some spots where they were forced to use him when they had injuries, but otherwise they always kept him in kind of a limited capacity. You just never know with the coaching change. Like, what if they think this guy deserves to be out there all the snaps, and then you throw in his, career efficiency, and it's like all of a sudden, man, he could be, the comp I was having for him, and I know this isn't like a super exciting comp, but it kind of reminds me of Troy Franklin at the beginning of last season, where it was like Pat Bryant's probably going to come on and you're probably going to get shoved to the side at the end of the season, but you could probably help advance a lot of teams early.
Sure. Don't disagree.
All right. That's how you get everyone excited about Dontayvion Wicks. He's this year's Troy Franklin. All right. Here's the team. Levitan, Jalen Hurts, Tyler Shuck, Bijan Robinson, Bashal Tutin, J.K. Dobbins, Woody Marks, Kamara, Marshawn Lloyd, Pickens, Olave, McLaurin, Lemon, Casey Concepcion, A.D. Mitchell, and Vele, Harold Fannin, Jawan Johnson, Stowers. I know you were slightly distracted as you thought about what could have been as an underdog investor. Otherwise, Miss Lincoln, how did you like the play?
Yeah. So my concern on builds like this is like, does the running back room have enough upside to get there in the playoffs? Because we don't really have like the one injury away guys. So when you get like a Bigsby or a Ray Davis type, at least there's runouts you can see where the starter goes down. And then in the playoffs, I have a total smash. If Dave Montgomery went down, I wouldn't be like that excited about Woody Marks. I'm already not excited about Kamara. We went to that for correlation. And I'm not sure that Marshawn Lloyd can ever get more than like 10 or 12 touches in a game, even if Josh Jacobs was suspended or hurt. So like, I think the running back room is okay. It's just when you do stuff like this, where you take Bijan and then Tutin, and then you don't pick again until like 4 later round guys, it's harder to find the upside. But this is the way people used to draft. Like it was literally 1 year ago. Everybody was like, this is the way you're supposed to draft, really wide receiver heavy, elite quarterback. And so, yeah, part of my thought with these kind of teams, and I've been doing more wide receiver centric teams lately, especially on DraftKings, is just this. We've had 2 years of running back health, not much running back chaos, a reversion to running backs getting injured at a higher rate than wide receiver, and more running back chaos. And these wide receiver heavy teams are going to look really good, especially on DraftKings.
Well, you have me a lot less excited about Marshawn Lloyd if you don't think he could crack 15 carries a game without Jacobs.
I mean, I hope he can. I take him. It's just, do you feel good that he's going to be able to survive that? I mean,
all the stuff they say, he's a new man, he's healthy. I mean, it's fair to be concerned, but I guess like, will he hold up? So
right.
You're saying that they might manage him with the hopes of protecting him from,
if Josh Jacobs, something happens to him, suspension or injury, I'm almost certain they're going to add someone. James Conner, Trey Benson, Kendra Miller, Najee Harris. I'm sure there's more running backs available that I'm not thinking of. Jerome Ford. Like, they're going to add people to that room for sure.
All right, Levitan, I normally save this for Sam or Pat, but I've been drinking free coffee because Vassaleros & Sons is now my official coffee sponsor all morning. I have to go to the bathroom right now, and I am going to tee you up for a monologue that you can do for a minute, or you can just hang out with the chat here.
Yeah, I put in some questions. I'll answer as many as I can about anything.
Yes. People were talking about Hollywood Brown earlier. Let's get a few questions here for Levitan, and then I am going to head to the bathroom here. How about this? I wrote about this in the Fantasy Life newsletter on Saturday. Basically, is there a cautionary tale to learn with Deebo and these other impending free agent wide receivers? I used the example of, hey, are we going to not like our price on Antonio Williams and Chiga Okonkwo if Stephon Diggs signs with the Commanders? Are we going to be pretty spooked on Josh Downs now going in the 80s if they sign Keenan Allen? How are you thinking about that?
Yes. That's why we do the unlisted stuff in our rankings. We have Washington and Indy for a ton of unlisted targets. In other words, we have attempts for Daniel Jones and Jaden Daniels, but we don't have them going to anyone yet because we expect them to sign someone. So that is factored in to the rankings. It's one of the reasons we've been so far behind on Chigakonkwo in the ranks, and we're like slightly behind on Downs also. So yeah, I mean, that stuff matters. I undersold it last year on the Keenan Allen, Lad McConkey thing, and that was certainly a mistake. All right. B. Karen says, how do you feel about a team with Tony Pollard as the running back 6? I would not be taking Tony Pollard as my running back 6. Like if I took that many running backs early, Pollard is just like an advanced rate guy. I'm talking about him on Market Monday, actually. So yeah, we'll talk more about him. Heath Jones 9 says, how do you truly feel about Pete deep down? I love Pete. I mean, I've known Overzet. He first like was doing the man's thing. This was me and Bales were like working on fantasy labs. This was like maybe 2015. And Overzet like came to Philly where me and Bales were and did like he was like, do you guys want to do a broathlon? And we did it and it was great. I mean, that was literally like 10 or 11 years ago, maybe more.
Yeah.
So I liked Pete better when he was doing the man's bit than the actual winning, touting investor bit. But yes, love Pete. Let me see.
Well, I was remembering too, when I was thinking about when I had touched base with Jeremy about Underdog way back when, and that was on the heels of when we did our Yosemite trip. And that was when Jennings was doing all those slow drafts on draft. Cause that was, I want to say, the last season before draft shuttered when they sold. And then there was that gap when they were spinning up Underdog. That was like Jennings back in the day. I don't know if people realize like the volume he was putting in on those best ball sites.
Yeah, he still is. I mean, he's I think he's 150ing the 555 or something crazy. I mean, he's grinding for sure.
Do you see him every day? Is he still part of the gym crew? You guys have that? Is he on the peptides?
Oh, I'm sure everybody is. Like the dude, you don't understand. That was the thing about all the health stuff too. Like everybody I know is doing all the scans and everything. And like I knew I was in a bubble, but so many people messaged me that had never even heard of Prenovo or any of these like kind of scans. I kind of feel the same way about peptides. Like everyone I know here knows everything about them, but I feel like normies have no idea what BP 157 is, at all. Like never even heard of it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Levitan, what I was actually doing there, I didn't even have to go to the bathroom. I wanted to see if you had the skills to become a solo best ball streamer. What are you? Would you ever? Have you done it? I mean, you obviously do the solo pod, but have you ever done a solo best ball stream?
Yeah. I have. Yeah.
Okay.
And I like doing some of the high stakes ones. I think people like that. So yeah. I might do that for sure. Yeah. And then sometimes when Silva, like I'm on a show with Silva and we're live and like, he can't tech Lord or whatever, I'm on there solo for a bit.
Yeah, the joint pod with Silva quickly turns into
let me just answer a few more of these questions really quick.
Yes.
Harp says, have I capitulated to big pickleball as a tennis player? I play a little bit of pickleball. I like playing singles pickleball. Doubles pickleball is not for me, but singles pickleball is actually a legit good game. If anybody wants to play, I'll give you the same challenge I have in tennis. If I've never seen you play and you didn't play in college, $500, you can come beat me if you think you can beat me. So hit me up if you want to do that in singles pickleball or tennis. You do have to escrow the money. Copy paste Lade says thoughts on Xavier Legette, not good enough at football. A Word in Sports says, what is your favorite contest structure? This is what I wanted to mention. People were complaining about the structure of that Friday, whatever one they did.
Frenchie,
I was like, that is an incredible structure. The 2 of 12 and then 1 of 2, 1 of 2, and then like a 28-person final or 50-person final or something.
Yeah,
that one.
39.
Yeah. That I thought that was awesome. I tried to get in those to the max. I forget what it was, maybe a 2 max or something. So yeah, I thought that was awesome structure. The heads up stuff is awesome.
Well, it's just so fun. Like the whole point of what they do with these Frenchies is like creative structures, new things, just drop it in, little, time box contest. Maybe you don't vibe with it. Maybe it's not your price point, whatever. They're trying new things out. And the chorus is, I don't like this one. It's like, okay, then wait till next Friday when there's another one.
Or just don't play this and don't
play it. Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to complain. Just don't play it. Yeah, I thought that was an awesome structure. Like anything between like $50 and 200 that has like reasonable advance rates in 15 and 16, I'm probably gonna think is a good structure for me. You know, I like that because like once I advance, like I don't. The ones that are, you know, 1 of 16 or 1 of 12 in week 15 and 16 in a 1 week thing are like really tough for me to get excited about.
Yeah. What how much are you gonna be locking in at your computer to get in all the high stakes drafts you need to here before the start of the season?
Yeah, I'm trying, but we got so much going on at ETR. I really got to be locked in on that. Yeah.
Are you gonna grind it to a nub on preseason DFS, or is even that your attention getting pulled from?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, the guys are on it, you know, Sean and Cody and Alex are on it. The first game is Thursday. Like there's definitely still a really good edge in preseason, but yeah, I just don't have time. I wish.
I don't believe we ever did. Did we do a proper recap of this team? I know we talked about the running backs. Did you have thoughts on anything else with the squad we drafted here?
No, I like it. You know, I like it. You know, obviously Jalen with Devontae is better, but I get into these spots where I take Jalen just because I don't like that range. Jalen Hurts and Jalen. I don't like that range that much with other positions. So yeah.
That's one I had been thinking about lately, in that I end up taking Daniels, right? A ton in that mid 6 when it gets flat, and trying to think how much of the time, you know, do I want that always to be Jaden, or is Maye right there with him? Obviously Hurts as well, or for you, is Jaden kind of in a slight tier ahead of those guys?
Yeah, we have Jaden ahead in rank a decent amount. Yeah, I thought Jaden's rookie year was like one of the best rookie years a quarterback can have. Last year was disaster. By the way, he's on Quarterback, the Netflix show right now, and like I watched the first 2 episodes. It just starts off bad with knee and then shoulder, and like, yeah, I think if he can sustain health though, and they add Steph Diggs, I really like Jaden Daniels for sure.
You mentioned thinking Stribling could be a big riser here. Anyone else there, you know, going after 150 right now that you're kind of circling of like, I just see things getting out of control with the buzz?
I'm talking about Bigsby on Market Monday. He's been steaming pretty hard, and like, yeah, I've been taking a lot of him for a while. So I'm okay with him steaming up and like kind of passing, just because at some point when you get into like the 140s, 150s, I feel like you need some standalone value, you know? And I think Tank Bigsby might have a little bit this year, but I wouldn't swear to it, you know? So it's tougher for me there as he gets more expensive, I think.
Yeah. What about, I assume he's probably a guy on Market Monday you're going to touch. Is Blue's ADP actually rising, or is that just buzz right now?
Jaden Blue? Oh, it's definitely rising. I think I've talked about him, but yeah, I like Jaden Blue for sure. I think kind of the reverse of Bigsby, where he will have a standalone role as like a pass catcher. I mean, Javonte Williams is not a good pass catcher. Receiving stuff last year was bad. I could see him having a standalone role there, pass catching, which is obviously more valuable than the Bigsby. Maybe 6 carries, you know, between the 20s, not very valuable. So yeah, I still like Jaden Blue where he goes, I think.
Chad is shocked that you're watching Quarterback. Is this with the boys?
Yeah, they love it. They love it. We like watching it. And yeah, you know, I of course, that deathbed theorem doesn't mean like never watching TV. It's just like it's like the people that are just like their whole life is like, I can't wait to get home and binge watch whatever's on Netflix. Like I think you're gonna regret that, but maybe I'll be wrong.
I actually, I've been wanting to circle back to that. I really like I watched the Kirk Cousins season when he got benched for Penix and Burrow, I think was in that one. It's good stuff. It's well done. I find it even more compelling than the Hard Knocks at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I don't really watch the Hard Knock stuff as much anymore, just because, I mean, they focus so much on these dust ball players. It's not that interesting. Like, we know the bit that these guys are grinding so hard to try to make the team, you know, or they're going to be working at Safeway. Like, you know, it's a good bit. It's what's going on for so long.
It's funny you say that. I hadn't really thought about it from that perspective, where they have to make a decision. Are they going to try to make a show that significant others and people who wouldn't otherwise care about football might want to watch, where they do fall in love with the Danny Woodhead and, you know, Rex Ryan calling him a little fucker out there? Or did they just say, hey, let's be honest, the people who are going to be watching this are hardcore football fans who care about the skill position players. Let's just profile anyone who's fantasy relevant.
Well, and they are making that change where they're doing in-season Hard Knocks, which I thought was really cool. I'd love to watch in-season Hard Knocks. I just don't have time, so like, but in-season Hard Knocks is fascinating to me. They're actually getting really behind the scenes on games and situations that actually matter,
Yes. Chad wants to know, I mean, this was one of the things breaking over the weekend. We had 2 Chiefs injury scares, Cyrus Allen, Xavier Worthy. Did you guys make any adjustments based on what happened?
No. And I just want to be clear, like for people that don't follow this stuff year over year, the Chiefs always give rookies first round reps in camp. It does not mean anything. This is like what they do. So when you see like Cyrus Allen is getting first team reps or Emmett Johnson is getting first team reps, like that might be good. Or it might mean nothing. Like the Chiefs do this every year with their dusty rookies and typically doesn't correlate to anything regular season wise.
Well, yeah, not to mention they also like, is there an organization who slow plays their rookies more? I mean, other than what, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire and stuff. I mean, they are notorious for keeping them on the pine for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Chad, we talked about Nabers at the start of the draft. If you want to go back and watch that TLDR, he's going to get even more expensive than the 2-3 turn there. Levitan, what else do you got going? I'm going to let you go here. You mentioned Market Monday. Anything else people should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, people really like the we had all like 12 ETR guys do a season long draft and like really tried to highlight the difference between best ball and season long in terms of like strategy and player takes. So people like that on the YouTube later this week, Market Monday on the show and on the channel, and then Silva news and rankings changes, and then we'll have Harmon on the show.
Nice.
It's one of our most popular shows each year. Talk to Harmon about a bunch of guys. Also coming up on the show next week, Man vs. Machine and our auction show. So
Beautiful.
Yeah, be sure you're subscribed on the YouTube machine on ETR. It is free.
Well, Levitan, I know you don't want to miss out on the next great thing, so I'm going to let you know, we're going to be raising money here at Best Ball Breakfast LLC, and we'll reach out to you to see if you want to make an investment, not miss out on the next $1 billion operation.
Last thing I'll say about the business stuff, I did want to get this off my chest. It's like when you start stuff, and Pete can say the same thing. Like when he started this stuff, when we started ETR, we had never in a million years thought Best Ball would be a revenue generator for us. It was like Best Ball was like MFL 10s and that's it. We never thought in a million years there'd be like betting and like props and prediction markets. Like if you stay in the game for long enough, like things happen, So there's like a lot of value, I think, in just staying in the game and seeing what happens next. And that's like something I've learned for sure. We didn't even have projections when we started ETR. It's like you stay in the game long enough and good things can happen if you do it the right way. So that was like something from Jeremy's perspective. They started as a fantasy site. Then they got into the pick'em stuff, which was like a huge boost. They got into prediction sports book. They got into prediction market. That was not the plan from the beginning. That's just like stay in the game, do a really good job of what you do, and then it can run out to 1.3 billion. So yeah, that was like the only actual really good takeaway I had from that. Also,
appreciate it, dude. I will catch you on next week's Best Ball Breakfast. Good luck with everything. Check out Market Monday and all of the other good stuff at ETR. We'll see you soon.
All right, buddy. Be good.
Peace. All right. Welcoming to the stage, fresh off of a 1-week hiatus, Sam Sherman, the defending Best Ball Mania champ. How are we doing?
I'm good, Pete. I saw some updates over the weekend of the ship chasing event in Austin. That looked like a lot of fun. How was that?
It was a good time. Yeah, very fun time. Yeah. We all drank too much on Friday. We did a ton of drafts on Saturday, which was fun. And then Sunday we were out on the boat there on Lake Travis. And yeah, good time. Although I'm working on like 4 hours of sleep today, so I'm dragging, but we're doing good.
Nice. Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. Saw some videos of people like wakeboarding or something on the boat. That looked awesome. Yeah, it looked like you guys had a good time.
There was some pickleball that broke out one of the nights, one of the places we went to. And there were some, Karain was out there playing, and there were some mentions about you guys and your tennis game. And yeah, Karain was telling us how good your backhand was.
Okay. Next year we can do some tennis lessons at the ship chasing meetup. I'll schedule that. So I gotta make it one of these years. Yeah,
you do. Yeah. I mean, what was your excuse this year?
Dude, I have like 10 weddings this summer, and I'm also moving.
Oh, yeah.
So that, yeah, I couldn't make it work this summer, but next year. I
didn't know you were. Karain mentioned that. I didn't know. Is this official? Is this on? Did you mention this on another show that you're for sure moving?
Yeah, for sure moving. It was a bit of a last minute plan, but my fiance and I had sort of plans for a while to move out of Boston. We didn't think we were going to be able to make it work like right before our wedding in September, but we are ripping off the Band-Aid and headed out. So yeah, started to like pack up all, I don't know, you can maybe even see in the background, started to like pack up boxes and stuff in the apartment. So yeah, it's exciting, but doing a lot of things at once, getting married, moving. It's going to be kind of a chaotic couple months.
Well, yeah, you're doing the BBM pilgrimage here. So, you know, it's, it makes sense. I mean, what Liam, I think moved to Florida, or maybe he was already in Florida. Yeah. So you got to go somewhere warm weather. I mean, I think Fareed's still in Vegas. So that's the warm weather. That BBM 5 winner, no one ever heard from him. So we know nothing about him.
Yeah. Basically doesn't exist. So,
if you're not going to tweet about your win every other day, then did it ever really happen? You know?
Exactly. What's the point of, it's not, you don't win for the financial benefit. You win to, you know, rub it in people's face on X every day. So anyways, in football news, I'm pretty excited that we're actually getting some, you know, I think I missed last week. Some news probably started to trickle in. But I feel like we had a month there, Pete, of just being starved for any crumb of news, and now we have it coming in hot. So it'll be fun to talk through it.
Yeah, what's your official take on the Niners? They're obviously kind of the hottest topic here. Deebo, Stribling, where you at?
I think they're both like, I would probably slightly prefer Stribling. I think they're pretty close together. I think in the tier of wide receivers near like Shakir, Shaheed, Omar Cooper, Travis Hunter, I think that's the tier I would slot them in. Yeah. And then again, I think it's like, I don't think there are amazing picks there. That's probably where I have them ranked, but I'm still very open to taking them around that price. Where have they risen to in ADP at this point? I haven't seen the latest.
Yeah, so Deebo's at 142. I saw him go in the 130s in my first draft. Stribling at 146. He also went a little bit ahead of this. I did get updated ETR ranks. So they have Stribling at 132 versus 146. And then Deebo, they have at 125 versus 142. So there still is some meat on the bone as far as value, according to the ranks. Yeah,
I think I would agree with that. I mean, I obviously like Stribling a lot better when he was free, but I still think it's an offense I want to bet on. It's still like very fragile with Evans coming off a down year, Kittle, you know, even though I'm also bullish on Kittle, he is coming off a torn Achilles. There's opportunity for playmakers there. So I still want to bet on the Shanahan system with Stribling, you know, even at that cost.
It's a pretty, like, you think it, like I did a Baker backstack and you're like, okay, like Otten, Jalen McMillan, Hurst, it's not like the worst thing. But the fact that you can do Purdy, Kittle, Deebo, Stribling now all after pick 100, if you can get a slight value on a naked Purdy, like that's a nice backstack there.
It is. And it used to be you have to take like Deebo, Ayuk, Kittle all in like the first 4 rounds, you know, back in the day, right? And yeah, it's the cheapest prices we're getting the 49ers in a long time.
All right.
I like
on the clock at
James,
112.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say, I like James Cook here.
Yep. We'll grab him as the first pick.
It's probably, I go Barkley or Walker usually as one of the next two.
I haven't done a Cook Walker. Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do that. I was gonna say, like, mix up the combos. I feel like we maybe even did a Cook Barkley already. Yeah. So let's mix it up and go Walker there.
Yeah, I was looking at the solver tool. 54.5% of my Cook teams have Barkley. So that's clearly the chalk combo there. And I mean, this would be a spot, right? Like I think we probably both slightly prefer Barkley, but same tier, similar upside. That's probably a spot to diversify the combo a little bit.
Agree. And I think I posted about this on X, but over the weekend, like I do think Walker is a running back that people underrate his receiving upside a little. This is a guy who, he came into the league and you looked at his prospect profile. He had very little track record of receiving, but since entering the league, I think he's actually been pretty competent at it. Back in 2024, even, that was the year with, I always forget this coordinator's name, Grubb, the guy from Washington. That 1 year he was coordinating the offense. Walker was on pace for over 70 receptions, around 90 targets on a 17-game pace in that season. They're really feeding him the ball in the receiving game. You look at the Chiefs' offense now. You got the injuries stacking up, obviously, but even without the injuries, like, it's a pretty weak wide receiver core there. So I could see him. They always have these like guys who are heavily featured in like the screen, gimmicky touches phase of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if Walker gets like a heavy dose of sort of the designery screens and touches in the Chiefs passing game. So I'm just overall pretty excited about him this year.
It would seem kind of crazy if they didn't do that. I mean, he's going to be, from just even a pure athleticism standpoint, I mean, outside of Xavier Worthy, who's now dealing with a sprained shoulder, I mean, he's by far your best pure athlete who's going to be on the field. Like, they're going to want to get him the ball as much as possible. I'm very Kenneth Walker build. Like, it's hard. It's almost hard for me to poke holes. And other than injury, like, how does this go wrong?
I feel the same. The only other thing of like how does it go wrong is like a little part of me is starting to worry about like, could the Chiefs just like have an unexpectedly bad season on offense this year? Like, it is Mahomes coming off an Achilles tear with probably the worst wide receiver. I mean, it's not like that he's had great wide receivers in the past year, but like all these injuries stacking up, I think we've kind of like losing a bit of optimism in some of these guys. Like, that's maybe how it goes wrong.
You just spawned Davis from the chat saying, even thinking about the Chiefs having a bad season, smoked him out. Did you get people riled up on Twitter the other day, bagging on Rashee Rice?
I think I mean, number one, I'll always look for an opportunity to. I think I'm a little biased against Rice, so I'll always look for an opportunity to do that. But the thing with Rice that like I do think like is a legitimate point is like when we're talking about look at the wide receivers that go near Rashee Rice, like George Pickens, Nico Collins, Nabers, Devonta Smith, Drake London. If these guys like magically hit the open market in NFL free agency, they are all getting like close to max deals from a bunch of teams. If Rashee Rice hits the open market in free agency, he is not getting anything close to that. Like, he is a very good fantasy wide receiver, but it is very like system based, like his production. And I do think there is like some inherent fragility in that. You can say, hey, what else, Sam, what else are the Chiefs going to do? Like, look at the depth chart. I get it, but then it becomes like the argument of like projectable volume for running backs that we recognize being fragile. Yeah. So like it totally could work and he could do the same thing he's done, but I just do think it is a little more fragile. I realize we're on the clock here.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I was thinking about a joke as well. Kyron, Jacobs, T. Higgins, Tedoroy, ETN. What do you want to do?
Let's do put T in quickly, I guess.
Yep. We'll grab your guy, T. Higgins, and then do you like the Kyron or Jacobs fall or get another wide receiver here?
I like a wide receiver here. I mix it up. I like McMillan, Waddle, McLaurin. Maybe McMillan's good. Yeah. All
right, let's do that. We'll try to keep Waddle's ADP slightly intact here. While I was zoning out, I was thinking that the tweet I think you just really need to do and simplify it is just say, isn't Rashee Rice just fancy Michael Pittman? And see how that works. Yeah. No, it is funny. Is he the first dead zone receiver? Which again, that's like the whole thing with the running back dead zone, where it's like, yeah, sometimes the projectable volume hits and like it, and that workload you can hang your hat on. It just doesn't give you a lot of additional outs if other variables change. If another target earner steps up in the offense, I guess the question at this point is like, what other target earner is possibly stepping up?
Which I acknowledge in the thread is like the totally valid counterpoint to this, but it's like, it's like the same argument say like, oh, what is the alternative to David Montgomery getting 80% of the RB carries? It's like, you're right. There's not a good alternative, but like the projectable volume piece can fall away for reasons we can't expect. And again, with Rashee Rice, like reporting on this is like, they are not looking to extend him long-term at the moment. He was in jail this offseason. Like you have to think that the Chiefs are coming up with some like contingency plans of how do we plan an offense around a guy who is not reliable enough to, not be in jail during the offseason. Like it's just like, I don't know. So for me, I would knock down Rice a little bit. Like I think I view him closer to like the McConkey, Igbuka, Higgins tier than the like Pickens, Collins, Nabers tier, but realize I'm probably on a bit of a island with that take.
We passed on Kyren there at the 3-4 turn. He was a slight value. There has been more and more chatter about the quorum. I think what quotes about would not be surprised to see these guys have similar production this year. The part of me that likes quorum and likes betting against Kyren loves hearing those quotes. And then there's the other realist part of me where it's like, don't we do this every year with Kyren? Is it actually going to be different? Where do you fall on that?
I'm like a total Kyren centrist this year. Like give me 6 to 8%. I'm a Rams like believer. Like, I mean, obviously I think everyone's a Rams believer, but their offense is just going to score so many more touchdowns than the average offense that I think like fading Kyren is a little bit too fancy. But he's a guy I've always had a struggle with because of like the dead zony nature of his profile. But like, I think in the wherever he goes, 3-4 turn, I'm like, I don't love him. I'm not fading him though. I'm right in the middle.
At least the part of his pro where it's like the part you almost worry about with him is that, and we kind of saw it last year where he was kind of splitting goal line carries with Corum for a good stretch, but at least he always has that pass catching role, which I think makes him a little less dead zoney. And then, like you said, the offense is so good that the pie, as long as you don't introduce a third back, which I can't envision them mixing in a third back much at all. Like if it's just two backs in a really good offense that's scoring, 27, 28 points a game, like both of those guys could pay off their ADPs.
Yeah. And like a thought experiment is like, worst case scenario, he's the Blake Corum of the offense, like that Blake Corum was last year. I think Blake Corum had like 3 games over 20 PPR or points last year as the backup running back. So it's like, is that like that? Obviously, it's bad if you spend your 4th round pick on it, but is that like so horrible? Like there'll be bigger busts than a Rams running back in a 50-50 committee. So what do we got here?
Yeah, we got James Cook, Kenneth Walker. We have T and Tetaroya there about to pick at the 5-6 turn. We have by ADP, Tate, Rome, Brian Thomas, Price, Tyson, Tyler Warren. By ETR rank, you got like Price, Daniels, Tyson. What do you want to do here?
Yep. Price I like to slot in as one of them. Maybe we throw in the queue and think about it. I don't know, man. Are
you doing the Parker Washington thing? Because this guy's headed for the 5th round, but I have not been.
That's what I'm thinking. If you want some exposure to him, let's do the Parker Washington thing just to have the conversation.
Let's have the conversation.
Because I have not. He has not been a target of mine. I have not been. Like I've heard. I don't know. I think like Pat and you too. It seems like you're pretty strongly against Washington. I do think you have to acknowledge like the run he went on last year was pretty impressive, and like Hunter wasn't there obviously, but it was he went on this insane run where it's not like Brian Thomas and Jacoby Myers were like injured, like they were on the field. It's going to be like largely the same guys he's competing against in a similar situation this year. I think the hype's gonna drive him up even further. So I kind of want to get some shares before I have to take him ahead of like Christian Watson or Devontae Adams or something like that. And again, it's just a system. We talk about like the Rashee Rice system, like this Liam Cohen system has been printing fantasy points for slot receivers, dating back to Chris Godwin's massive run in 2024 before he got hurt. It's just such a friendly role for a wide receiver that, similar to Kyron, I'm like kind of a Washington centrist at this price.
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
I do think there's probably a cap on how much he can rise. Like, I'd be pretty shocked if he got higher than like JMO and Adams, but he can easily flip Rome, Watson, Moore. And I could see him settle as a mid-5th round pick here, at which case, like, get some 6th round shares now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, man. We talked about it before. The Jaguars wide receiver room is like, it's like so weird to figure out this year. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I change my mind every day.
Yeah. So we still got the balance build here. 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. I mean, on the flip side, we did take Price. I feel like, early on, we were getting some of the whole Lonnie stuff, but a lot of the quotes now have been pretty bullish. Like, I really like hearing about how much they want to use him in the receiving game a bit too. I think that's really where you start to get excited about him a bit. How are you feeling about the price?
The price. I like the price. I've been in on him. Yeah, I've been pretty in on him this offseason. Just zooming all the way out. Team that just won a Super Bowl. Very, very, very weak running back depth chart outside of Jerian Price. I mean, come on. I know we've taken George Holani, Pete, but let's be serious about the level of competition he has in that backfield. I think he could really consolidate here. His college profile is weird because he played with Jeremiah Love. That makes it very hard to interpret the data because obviously Love is an absolute freak. So I love all the positive buzz on Price. I mean, it's kind of crazy to get this cheap of a price for a 1st round running back on this good of a team with this week of team running back competition. Like, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, specifically in BBM too, I think having the conversation and maybe some of the smaller field, high stakes stuff, what you're getting in BBM with that setup, I'm there in the 6th round. All right. About to pick again here. We could obviously do Lawrence with Parker Washington. You got like Pierce, Chuba, RJ Harvey, Rico, Addison, Downs, Godwin. What do you think?
I think we probably go Trevor here and not overthink the stack. Let's do that. Can you flip the ETR ranks as well? I'm curious what they. So they have
they like Addison, Pierce, Rico, Laporta, Corum.
I think I like Pierce here. Addison and him are very close for me, but the Pierce news has been like pretty positive. I don't think he's going to keep falling. I think once he returns to practice, even I think we might get a slight bump from him, and that seems like that's coming pretty soon. So I think again, Pierce. This is like managed versus redraft take. Like, I'm not sure I'm doing much Alec Pierce in like an FFPC league or something this year, but like I think we've seen the evidence of how he can pay off in best ball pretty easily.
Yeah. I just got him my first draft this morning, and I hadn't been selecting a lot of Pierce, and he fell a good bit. I think I got him at like 91, 92.
Oh wow. Okay.
But the chat was saying, Crutches was saying like, this is probably going to be like the bottom for him now that we're getting like a tighter timeline. Because I think the fear early on, and I remember we took some Pierce at the beginning of Best Ball Mania season, and it was kind of like, man, like how bad is this injury going to be? How long is it going to linger? But now that they're saying, I think it was 1 to 2 weeks when I pulled up the last blurb. I think he's a guy that is going to rise back up. If anything, it's just bizarre that his price never really adjusted when there was true ambiguity.
Yeah.
But now, if anything, he could be a riser based on how much people seem to like him.
Yeah, agreed. And I guess the other thing, the big question that could impact his ADP, though you could argue whether it should or not, is the Keenan Allen potential signing. I think people will bump him down probably a little bit if that happens. But Yeah, I mean, we talk about all these free agents, right? Like we're getting to August now. Like it gets to a point where, Keenan Allen's maybe a different story. He's had the familiarity with Shane Steichen. He could probably get up to speed pretty quickly. But like some of these other guys, like I think you have to be like ticking down the Diggs obviously the Ayuks, but the Keenans like a little bit day after day, just because like, man, it gets tough to like make a player a feature point on the offense when you add him like this late in August. So yeah, we'll see on the rest of these free agents.
Yeah, and it is like the flip side too, where it's like if they do add Keenan, you're not really. I mean, you're worried about Pierce in that it means maybe they're worried that he's not going to be playing much or full health.
Yeah,
but you don't worry about how it's going to impact his role or even his targets necessarily when he's on the field. Because even when I click Pierce, I mean, I've never bought they paid him and so now he's going to get 12 targets a game. Like I think it's more kind of get what we got last year and maybe a little bit more volume there. But like those early bullish things of like, sorry, like he's not going to earn targets like he's Rashee Rice. Like that's just not who he is as a player. Yeah. So I'm not opposed to taking him, but I'm not doing it because I think he's going to become this alpha wide receiver one that we're drafting in round 3 next year.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. We're about to pick at the 9-10 turn. We do have Lawrence stacked up with Parker Washington. We have the 3 running backs, Cook, Kenneth Walker, Jadarian Price, Higgins, McMillan, Parker Washington, Pierce. Tight ends kind of wiped off the board here. Although Kittle lurking a bit if we wanted to get our first tight end. Otherwise, I don't see a ton here. Quarterback, especially with some of the later stack. Yeah. There's Jacoby if you want to get the double.
Yeah.
No, he goes.
He actually just gets ripped off. Man, this is a bit of a tough spot. I guess Mason is jumping out to me. Just like could use a running back for.
I'll put Mason in the queue.
I don't love the. Yeah, I mean, it's like, the other things I consider Kittle, I think we can put in the queue to consider. I think KC Concepcion makes some sense in this team. I don't think the quarterbacks I would go for. I'd probably go Kittle, I think.
Yeah. I guess and we should talk. Oh, go ahead.
No, go. Yeah, go for it.
Well, I was going to say once we went Mason, it's like, should we consider Kyler? I was curious. How are you? Obviously we continue to get this camp battle, JJ McCarthy. And part of me is like, I don't fucking buy it. Kyler's going to be the week 1 starter. On the other hand, I'm like, are they really posturing this much? Or at some point, is there a kernel of truth to, they didn't pay Kyler that much. Yeah. Is he not as safe as we would like to think he's safe?
I had the same thought this weekend where like part of me is like, he's really not that different from the Justin Fields bet last year in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying that to say that like the Justin Fields bet was terrible. I was drafting Fields in the 110 range or wherever he went, but I was like eyes wide open with like, hey, if he is as bad as he's been, he's just going to get benched. Like he did get some money, but like we've seen Justin Fields face plant before. If he does it again, he's going to get benched. And that's what happened. He got benched and he was a bad fantasy pick. With Kyler, it's different because like, I don't think he's going to be as much risk of being an outright disaster like Fields was. I think his floor as a player is better than Fields. But if the Vikings are just like struggling a little bit, they're not trending to make the playoffs, I do think they are like, hey, we have no long-term commitment to Kyler. This Kyler experiment isn't going to work for the long term. Why don't we just like see what we have in JJ McCarthy down the stretch? So I do think like those scenarios are real. So I've been pumping the brakes a little bit on Kyler just because like Jordan Love, Bo Nix, Jared Goff, like these guys are just so much safer. And like, I get their upside isn't as high, but I think they all have like pretty solid weekly upside still. We're still talking about some pretty exciting offenses or players for those guys. So yeah, I'm pumping the brakes like a little bit on Kyler, where he goes, I think.
We have a user from the Matic Fantasy Football channel. I believe this is the redraft arm of the Davis Matic YouTube empire. He sends in a $10 super chat. Things must be going well over there at Davis Matic LLC. He says, make my qualitative. Sam Sherman give a definitive statement on Terrence Ferguson, who Davis may or may not have just forced Mike Shope to take in like the 9th round of an FFPC draft last night.
I'm out on the 9th round, if that's definitive enough. Yeah, I think Ferguson is a fun, like I'm mixing him in late round best ball as a tight end target. The thing with the Rams are so weird, right? Like what is their plan at wide receiver 3? Like, could it just be Terrence Ferguson is playing like 70% of the routes as like a hybrid tight end wide receiver? I think it's possible, because who else in the depth chart is playing wide receiver? Like, I literally don't know. So I think there is an upside case to make for him. He was a 2nd round pick. We've seen the Rams kind of unexpectedly spotlight players in their 2nd year. So I'm in on T Ferg. I don't think I'm at well, Davis was at like 50%. I saw something insane on a screenshot.
He's clicked in 400. The screenshot was 432 Terrence Ferguson shares.
Yeah, that's that's absurd.
All right, let's see here. So at the 11-12 turn, a couple interesting wide receivers potentially. Coker could set up a Carolina double. Shaheed pairs with Jadarian Price. We have Goddard as an ETR darling here. And then I'm looking at if there was quarterback stuff we need to address here, or if we're good. Coker does go. Who interests you here?
Is Darnold still available?
Good question. Yes, he is. You want to go for that double?
Yeah, it's like in Darnold Shaheed. I kind of like.
Yeah, let's put Shaheed in just to give us a second.
Yeah, we can think about it. I mean, Darnold obviously is a reach a bit ADP wise, but I mean, Daniel Jones, we still have as a backup as well, but I worried a little bit about getting Box out at QB. We have Price with Seattle as well. I kind of like that team bet on Seattle. Unless you have something better, Pete. That's probably what I'd do.
No, I mean, if there was a pick we really liked, if you thought Tracy was the end of a tier, if you thought Diggs was the end of a tier, then I'd be like, we can do Bryce Young, we can do Daniel Jones and push it. But I don't mind the Darnold Shaheed thing there. And like you said, these quarterback runs can happen quickly, and you can be in spots where like, well,
look at that.
Right away. Shuck Ward right there.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. I and also if Bryce Young or Jones makes it back, I kind of think like getting 3 QBs is kind of nice on this team too. So like, I don't think we need to rule that out. If one of those guys makes it back.
So we have Lawrence and Darnold at quarterback, James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Jadarian Price, Jordan Mason at running back, T. Higgins, Tedaroy McMillan, Parker Washington, Alec Pierce, Rashid Shaheed at wide receiver, Kittle at tight end. The two of us building very balanced builds where we don't get behind at any position. That's kind of our MO. I feel like this season, it always feels comfy.
Yeah. Maybe we should challenge ourselves with like a 0 RB or something next week to mix it up. But that is like, I do occasionally get pushed into like weird builds. I very am like a let the draft kind of dictate my early round strategy and go from there type of drafter. But when there's a tie break, I feel like just leaning towards balanced is like, because then it gives you the optionality later, like to take a huge value. You know what I mean? So I always do kind of default towards more balanced.
No, that's how I mean, it's funny because it's juxtaposed to last week. I don't know if you saw. So in my solo draft, I did a McBride Bowers team. And then that forces you into some tough spots. And then Pat and I did like the 6 running backs early, Tony Pollard, running back 6. Yeah. And again, my issue with it is the word you just said, the optionality is like, you're essentially removing a position from your draft board the rest of the draft. And it just makes it a little harder to pull things off. But yes, that was a very polarizing draft that you missed last week.
Yeah. I mean, the sim stuff is so interesting to me because like, I don't doubt that like with their inputs, if they're like that confident that Tony Pollard is like a better pick than whatever the wide receiver is, like with their inputs, like the sims are going to spit out, like take Tony Pollard. But like, I don't know. I'm not going to tell like whatever shit. I know Shady and Pat, they've thought about all this stuff in detail. I know, but like if you introduce more like uncertainty into like the range of outcomes in the sims, right? Then like I think you wouldn't be as confident in taking like a 6th running back over your first wide receiver, right? Like I can't fully wrap my mind around that yet. So I need like a math lesson from the leg up guys, because yeah.
And I think it's probably compounded with a complete lack of confidence in the late round running backs of just like, man, the ranges of outcomes on these. Like, sure, will there be a couple of hits? Absolutely, there is every year. But projecting those, especially even still now where we are on the cusp of a lot more information, I'm guessing it's just saying the availability of this position late is dire. And we want you to get as many of these before then. But no, I'm with you. I think it's fun talking about it. Like it's fun to try to tease out what are the Sims picking up on. We are about to pick here at the 13-14 turn, really hoping Strange will fall to us for the double stack. He's a rankings value and stacked. But Bryce Young is also here if we do want to get that third quarterback. Bigsby goes, so we're good there. What would you like to do?
Yeah, Strange for sure. And then I think I would lean Young, but maybe we can look at the alternatives.
Yeah, I'll use our time here. By ADP, I have it sorted. So it would be like Henry, Boston, Jawan Johnson, Algier, Coleman. ETR ranks have Henry, Jawan Johnson, Sadiq. It is probably last call for quarterback because it's like down to Rodgers, Mendoza. I think we can probably push tight end 3 at this point.
Yep. I feel pretty good about Young being the best pick here. Yeah, I like it.
I got into I had a Young. Did I have a Young on my first team? I think I did because I took Xavier Legette, and then I was arguing with the chat whether Legette was on the menu or not. Is there any adjustments you're making with Brazel being out for the year?
Yeah, I think Legette is on the menu. I would think.
Don't sound so confident.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you ask a waiter about a special. Like, do you have that? Are there any of those like ribeyes left? And she's like, I think we still have something on the menu.
You mean stribeyes?
Yeah, stribeyes.
The stribeyes are gone. All we got is a little Legette in the back from 2 nights ago.
Is a little Legette. Yeah, it's the last Legette we had. It's got to check the expiration date. I think DraftKings. He's probably more like DraftKings eligible for me than Underdog. But I mean, I get to the 18th round sometimes, and I'm like, who the fuck am I going to take a wide receiver? So he's gonna run routes. He was a first round pick. That's about all you can say positively about him, I think.
Which is generally about all we can say positively about a lot of round 18 guys. Or you say, it's a 3rd round rookie on the Baltimore Ravens who could also be the wide receiver 6, or he could be the wide receiver 2, and no one knows. But yes, I don't want Legette to be part of my brand just because I said he's on the menu, but we know how these things work. So I guess I'm just the fucking Legette guy now, Sam.
Yeah.
It's better than being the Jonathan Mingo guy.
Yeah. I was both in the rookie years. So, that didn't work out so well for me.
The broken Carolina drafting clock has to inevitably be right at some point. It's just math.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, who else do they have? Jimmy Horn. I've heard someone mention him as a guy, but I don't know. It's gonna be Legette, I think.
This is the other talking point from earlier. I upset the Jalen Naylor hive, and I'm actually curious where you fall on this, because as a member of Contract Twitter, I feel like you have to love the Jalen Naylor signing. On the other hand, I could see you not being very excited about the Raiders offense. So where are you in the great Jalen Naylor wars that started about 2 hours ago?
Yeah, I'm not really into Naylor. It's just, I mean, you can take Jalen. Like, I can't stop you from clicking Jalen Naylor.
You cannot stop these people. I learned.
Yeah. It's not, I don't know, man. I think like for me, if I was taking wide receiver, I obviously like Stribling, and like there's higher upside guys than Naylor. I think there's like guys with similar floors around there, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I have to draw much. Jalen Naylor 1 pick ahead of Omar Cooper. That's just like not a reality of fantasy football that I want to live in.
It's like like you said, it's a combo of like a guy who's never really done much in his NFL career and landed on the Raid. Like if throw him on the Chiefs or something and whatever, maybe I'd be more interested.
Then he'd be Rashee Rice.
Yeah, then he'd be in the Rashee Rice role. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he had some high touchdown rates in Minnesota. I think that's about all you can really say positively about his time in Minnesota.
Yeah, we've gotten to the point where people are saying, can we talk about someone fun and not Jalen Nailor? We just talked about Xavier Legette and Jalen Nailor. What more could you guys want for us? Let's recap this team before we pick. Next, we do have the 3 quarterbacks, Lawrence, Darnold, Bryce Young, all stacked up. We got those 4 running backs, James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Jadarian Price, Jordan Mason. We got the 5 wide receivers, Higgins, Tedoroya, Parker, Washington, Alec Pierce, Rashid Shaheed. The 2 tight ends here in George Kittle, in Brenton Strange. We are 3 picks away here. I know ETR ranks don't love him, but Barner on a Darnold team certainly makes sense. I'm looking at the running backs here. Jaden Blue's ADP has been a rocket ship and kind of maybe a last call here for decent picks. What else are you seeing?
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Jaden Blue, Barner, T-Ferg, Davis's guy.
T-Ferg snipe. Sorry, Davis. I'm going to put let's talk through it. Who do you want first?
Barner, I would go Blue first, and then we can see if, I don't feel like this is our 3rd Seattle skill player with Darnold, and they were mostly pretty cheap. I think it's not really overstacking. I think we can find some wide receivers later. I think I'd go Barner for the stack. Yeah.
I know. I was trying to see. I was like, I do like Wicks, but other than Wicks, I'm like, all of these guys feel similar to me. And now we have the 3-5-5-3. Everyone knows where a Sam and Pete team is headed. It's headed toward a 3-5-7-3, and we're going to find 2 wide receivers to close this out.
Yep. And speaking of, this is at risk of him getting sniped, but talking about like somewhere in the more exciting bucket of a late round pick, I think like Cyrus.
Oh.
No, Cooper Kupp. Yeah, Rashad Bateman. No. I think Cyrus Allen is like pretty interesting. I'm still working through how I feel about taking him. I did take him in one team in the 18th round. After the news that it was just a shin bruise, he should be back in a couple days. We see this so often with the Chiefs skill players in preseason that like I feel like Lucy, or whatever the analogy is of Lucy with the football. Yeah, Lucy with the football. But like he was getting legit good reports, even like Schefter quote tweeting stuff saying like the impact Cyrus Allen was made. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like fully just like, random beat reporter on some blog talking about it. Like it was getting some kind of like national buzz what he was doing. And as we talked about, it's a wide open wide receiver room. Rashee Rice looks banged up. Xavier Worthy seems like he's gonna be fine with the shoulder, but he's banged up. Other options are Tyquan Thornton and Nico Remigio, right? Like there is room here for someone to kind of like come out of nowhere. So I think Allen is like kind of an interesting last round pick right now, but what do you think about him?
Yeah, I talked with Levitan a bit where he was like, I think he had the stat, and I can see if I can pull it up because I want to say Cody Main tweeted it, but that the Chiefs play their rookies in like the preseason and early stuff more than basically any team. Which makes sense, right? Like, shouldn't every team do that? Like, see what the fuck you have in your new guys. You know what your old guys do. So I've always been a little skeptical, and yet, this Xavier Worthy shoulder sprain, right? Like, to me, that's where I get interested in Cyrus. Like, if this stuff continues to nag and it's like Xavier Worthy's not going to be part of it, like, then all of a sudden the runway for him to immediately be on the field in 3 wide receiver sets is pretty interesting here. I was trying to see if I could find this tweet here, but Cody tweets way too much for me to find it. Hey, let's see here. Was this it? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, have been keeping track of preseason playing time since 2016. If you're curious which fantasy relevant players might be on the field this August, here's a list of regular season starter playing time for active NFL coaches. And you can see here Andy Reid at the top here for the Chiefs, 12.6% week 1, and then goes up. So the average here of playing the fantasy relevant players might be on the field this August. Okay. So yeah, I don't know exactly how that ties into the Cyrus Allen conversation, but
yeah.
But yeah, no, I think he to me, he is interesting from just a Xavier Worthy health perspective at the very least.
Yeah. Other guy that like, go ahead.
No, I just want to say, let the record show the solver is suggesting Xavier Legette on this team for us. I'm not going to force Sam to take Xavier Legette, but yeah, let's figure out which 2 wide receivers we want to land this plane with here.
I kind of like guys. I like Booty. I think I like Pat Bryant. I like,
Brian just went.
Okay. Cup. I think Cup we can throw in the queue. Legette, I think we can throw in the queue.
Do you want to get
Booty?
Get Booty first.
Okay with that. Yeah. I think I've done Cooper Cup enough, to be honest. I'd like to find something else.
The question is, yeah. Or are you in on the Keenan stuff? Round 18 Keenan. He could be another.
Yeah, I haven't done him once. Let's do Keenan. Sure.
I was looking at this team and I was just thinking, it is probably a team that could use a Cooper Cup. Higgins, Tedoroya, Parker Washington, Pierce, Shaheed, Booty, Allen. It probably does need another kind of floor pick there because it is a little bit thin.
Yeah.
Now that I look at it. So a guy like Keenan, wherever he signs, and also it's kind of an interesting phantom stack there with Pierce anyways. If that could cover up some production, if he does go to the Colts and gives us some stuff early. So yeah, I don't know. I think Cup, Legette, Keenan, those were the picks.
Yep. Yeah, and the Booty thing I think is interesting because I'm a Patriots fan, so I've been following their camp closely. If you look at I think it's Chad Graff who covers them for the Athletic. He's been like adamant that Booty has been the best wide receiver at camp. So that's one thing that he clearly like has taken this offseason to be like motivated and showed up ready to play. He wasn't, sulking about potential trade requests. He's been ready to play. And then 2, there's been quotes from him along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, but he said things like, I don't know if I'm going to be here in a couple weeks or somewhere else. So I think there are like still trade talks in the background with him. Because if you think about a 3 wide receiver set, like Booty, AJ Brown, and Dobbs doesn't make a lot of sense. Like you probably want a slot guy in there, like Pop Douglas. None of those 3 guys really fit that. So there's some like asymmetric outcomes here with Booty where he gets traded to a place we're much more excited about. Could that be San Francisco? Could that be Kansas City? Could that be, I don't know, Miami installs Kayshon Booty as their wide receiver 1, whatever, right? Like, I don't know what the best outcome is for him, but I think a trade could be on the table for him, which would be interesting.
Yeah. Because then it is hard to know what is better, even just being like, because he did show a good rapport with Drake May, and I do think he's a good downfield threat. And you're almost like, man, maybe they are a little creative. Maybe they kick AJ Brown or Dobbs into the slot more and let Booty play outside. And now you have a guy who's hitting for big plays in a good offense. Or do you say, give me the mystery box, the grass is greener on the other side, maybe a few more targets, may have a more determined role. I guess at this point, some of the spots that do really need wide receiver help are pretty scary. Like it's like, oh, he goes to Miami. He goes to the Raiders and takes Jalen Davis lunch. So yeah, I'm also wondering, like, do you just want him to stay on the Patriots or do you actually want a trade at this point?
Yeah. I guess my assumption is like, if he gets traded, it's like, there's also the, like, I don't know, we still have a month before the season. Like, could there be some other injury that opens up a exciting trade spot? I don't know. Either way, though, I think it's just like it's exciting that he's like pretty clearly a top 3 pass catcher at Patriots camp, and he wasn't anything special last year. He was 1.5 yards per route run, pretty low target rate, but as you mentioned, it was like big plays down the field. like a 17.1 yards per reception, pretty deep ADOT as well. So that is like sort of a best ball friendly profile if he can repeat something close like that in year 2.
Yep. All right, here's the squad in the books: 3-5-7-3. T-Law, Darnold, Bryce Young at quarterback, Cook, Kenneth Walker, Jadarian Price, Jordan Mason, Jaden Blue, Higgins, Tedaroy McMillan, Parker Washington, Alec Pierce, Rashid Shaheed, and then we finish with Booty and Keenan Allen. And then we got the 3 tight ends there: Kittle, Strange, and Barner. All kinds of stacks here. I'd say other than kind of like the back end of the wide receiver room, maybe being a smidge shaky, pretty solid squad. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Right. I mean, I think we're pretty reliant on our guy Parker Washington here to have a huge season for sure. But yeah, I think it's a fun team. I think we have concentration on like good offenses for the most part. I think Carolina is the exception with that stack, but pretty heavy Seattle and Jacksonville. I'm excited about their potential this year. We got the Bills and Chiefs pieces, kind of down the line, pretty exciting, high scoring offense potential on this roster. So I like that. That's something I watch out for. Like, I think sometimes like I do really like the values on like the Jets or the Browns, and then you like stack too many of those teams together and you're like, there's just no fucking way this team could ever work when I have 4 Jets players and 3 Browns players or something. So I think we did a good job balancing that here.
For sure. Yeah. It's like kind of, you pick the one offense, are you sprinkling in Browns? Are you sprinkling in Jets, Carolina, but you don't want to go too overboard there. And then you look at our running back room. It's like Cook and the Bills, Walker and the Chiefs, Price and the Seahawks, Mason and the Vikings, and Blue and the Cowboys. I mean, the potential for touchdowns and just high scoring offenses there is pretty good.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. And it looks like we were, I guess, reaching a little more than I thought. I guess it was all kind of mostly the reaches at quarterbacks, which like when you're on the turn, I mean, what else are you gonna do there? So I think I guess we didn't really have any big value. I don't remember having any big values like presented to us at any point through the draft. It was kind of a by the books room, I feel like.
For sure. I mean, the 2 nice value things we got were at tight end are stacked up. Tight ends there. Strange slipped when we needed a tight end, and then Barner also slipped there. So that feels good. Yeah, everything pretty minor, but yeah, when you add it up and it's like, oh man, are we just hemorrhaging ADP value left and right? But then too, like, the Jaden Blue one, I'm seeing like a bit of a tier break there when like we go from Jaden Blue to what I consider a lot of Stone Zero types. Whereas like, I feel pretty good that Blue isn't going to be a 0. Like, I think he's going to have a pass catching floor, and then you can dream on some contingent. You can dream on some explosive plays. But for me, Blue's almost like last call, at least for now, on some of these late round running backs.
I'm with you. It's kind of like Blue and Lloyd for me. If I don't have one of them towards the end, I'm like, I feel like I'm making some pretty big guesses. Now I get with those guys, even like, it's not like I have the highest confidence in the world that those guys are going to be the running back too, but I think we're building confidence every day now with those guys. Like, very, very good reporting on how Blue, after I think being seen as kind of like a head case in his rookie year, has like come back with a changed attitude, and they're excited about him. Like, that's, you love to hear that. You kind of worry about Jaden Blue that he does the Jermaine Burton pivot and gets released from the team after year 2, and he's clearly trending in the other direction there. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I like this team here. Fun for me, like 2 of my bigger fades at the wide receiver position most of this offseason: Parker Washington, Alec Pierce, at least in like the top 90 picks there. We get them on the same team here. I think, the only interesting decision going back would have been, was there a wide receiver? Like, do you take Diggs instead of Darnold, and then you get a little stronger at wide receiver 5, and then you get a Jones or somebody else later? That was really the only spot I was kind of thinking through.
Yeah, because I think Jones got ripped off, but we could have gone like,
you're right,
T-Law, Bryce Young, and Mendoza or something like that, or Rogers, right?
No, I think your instinct was right. Being on the turn there and just knowing, Jones does go 140. I mean, him coming back to 156, it could have happened, but probably a little thinner there.
That was my thought. I was like, I think there's good chances one of Jones or Young make it back, but like both felt kind of thin. So I felt like taking Darnold there. Yeah, but I do. Yeah, I don't know what else we could have. I mean, we maybe could have done, instead of Barner, done like a wide receiver to feel a little bit better about. But at that point, it was pretty wiped out anyways. So yeah, I think we played it pretty well.
Yeah. And then the other thing, it's like, but even here, I was going to say, okay, you always feel decent when you go uber punt tight end. You could grab a Dobbs, a Wan'Dale Concepcion instead of Kittle. And then, but even then, if you're flipping like your last round booty or whatever, it's like you're down to Erick All, your guy, Erick All there. Erick All. Ingram. So you can miss these windows almost no matter what you do. It can be tricky there.
Oh, I didn't see Erick All actually got drafted in this one. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, there's been a little a little buzz on him. Yeah,
I was reading the old ETR for ETR subs. I think one of the most underrated things to check out is like the rankings change log. I mean, you have to be a complete virgin like me to be interested in that, but I do keep an eye on that. And they ticked up Erick All recently in the rankings change log, which I think makes sense. He got hit by a truck, and it made him more excited about football, apparently. So
I heard them talking about it. I haven't. Is it under? Do they have a separate page for it?
If you just keep scrolling down, it's kind of buried a little bit. I think even to ranking under player analysis,
there it is.
Rankings change log. Yeah, and they have all their notes. Like I think, I don't know if they update this daily, but it's close to daily. It seems like, and they like have little notes. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. So here you go. Bumped here. Let's find the Erick All for us. Here we go. Bumped Erick All's target share slightly off of Mike Gesicki and Tanner Hudson. These are the kind of updates.
This is what I love.
There we go. Yeah.
Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah. There's always lots of jokes about virginity in the fantasy football space. Reading this page has to be up there as the dictionary definition.
That's up there. I mean, I would like ETR to report back on daily like page views on this article. I figure 50% of them are probably me, but I'm sure there's some other people that are looking at this.
Imagine trying to explain this sentence on a first date. Bumped Jalen Waddle's target share off unlisted wide receiver to get him further up in the ranks.
I also love it too, because like sometimes they're like there's rationale for like why they do it that's laid out, and sometimes it's just like, we're just getting this guy higher in the ranks. Which it's like,
it is funny because I mean I listened to them talk about it, and they were even mentioning with some of those spots like the Commanders, like the Colts, where it's almost like a trickle thing. Like the closer we get to the season, keep sliding a little bit more of the unlisted to the main guys. But I do like how they do this, right? Where it's like, okay, the market is moving on Jalen Waddle. We could just stay tethered to our rank, to ADP or whatever. But if we do think, where could we be off? Why are we behind market? Oh, we still have unlisted wide receiver here. I haven't heard the Broncos really. I mean, they have one of the deeper wide receiver rooms, I would say, in the league right now with Franklin and Mims as luxuries. It would make sense to pull unlisted wide receiver off, I feel like.
Yeah, Pete, I unfortunately have a huge sort of hand on shoulder moment for you. Unlisted wide receiver for the Broncos goes by Taysom Hill.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Little Jordan Humphrey, but I forgot about the Joker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, Taysom Hill, you got to project him for his 8% target share, 4% carry share, 3% pass attempt share. You gotta get that in there.
I was terrified when you did the hand on shoulder that like right now they had just signed Keenan Allen or something. And it's like, well, about that unlisted wide receiver. Sweet, dude. I assume you got That's Fair going on this week. Anything else?
No, just That's Fair. I'm going to be, I guess, like big picture, I'm going to be, I think ramping up some more content like late August, early September. Just like I've got a backlog of like guest streams and stuff that I'm trying to schedule then, because I think I'll have a little more free time and it's the most exciting time to do it. So I'll have more news on that later. But yeah, other than that, just that's fair this Thursday.
All right, man. Beautiful, fun drafting as always. We will catch you around here for next week's Best Ball Breakfast, and we'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good, Pete.
All right,
see you
peace,
later.
Sam. Before we get Ron Stewart up here today, I want to do another coffee giveaway. Let's do a different hashtag here. Should we do Legette or Naylor? You know what? I'm on team Legette. So we're going to do Legette here. We're going to make you guys spell it Legette, hashtag Legette, to be entered for a free bag of our new coffee sponsors coffee. And my guy Ron's here, so I'm just going to bring him up on stage for the coffee giveaway. How you doing today, Ron?
Doing well. What's going on?
Not too much. It's a very monumental day, Ron. We have a coffee sponsor on the program now, Vasaleros and Son. So we're giving away some free bags of coffee.
Wow, that's big time.
Big time. Are you a coffee
jealous.
drinker, Ron?
As I've gotten older, I've definitely started to venture over into coffee.
Okay. You know what? It's fine. How old are you again? And I hate because I'll get pissed off, but I do need to know for this question.
25.
25. I don't even think I was drinking a ton of coffee. I think I was just starting to ramp up myself. I don't even think I was a daily coffee drinker at 25.
I got a little, my mom got me a coffee maker that I, little iced coffee in the morning, nothing crazy.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. How has your summer been going? I know you just started your nightly BBM or in Underdog streams. It sounds like you're ready to lock in here.
Yeah, it's lock-in season, man. It is that time. We're doing daily streams until week 1, getting videos up, rankings on the back end, just full long days of work ahead of us, but I'm excited. It's not even work though.
Yeah. You know what they say, Ron, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Did I see a screenshot? You cooking up a little Ron draft guide over there?
Yeah, had to put the big boy pants on, graduate from the Google Sheets over on Patreon to now have a cool draft guide out, which has been like its own little adventure in itself, like the first, I guess, like digital product I've sort of built out, but it's been fun.
Beautiful. Well, we are going to draft a team today. Before we do, we're going to spin. Good luck to everybody. As I mentioned before, you can get 25% off your first order and free shipping at Vasaleros and Sons Coffee. The link is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description down below. Support them. Let them know that they didn't make a mistake sponsoring this program. And shout out to Cole 4912. Drop me a message, Discord, Twitter, or put your contact in the comments after, and I will get you and Ghost a promo code to redeem for a free bag of coffee. Also, one other note here. When Ron and I are done with this draft at 2 p.m. Eastern, the So You Think You Can Tout finale is premiering. Ron was a judge earlier this season. Ron, are you fired up for the finale today?
Oh, I'm locked in. I'll be heading right over.
Good. Do you got any predictions? Do you have a horse in this race?
Yeah. I of course like cups. I like PPR okay. Tyler. I don't mind squares. My prediction, I think squares wins, but I don't really know enough about him, so I'm curious to see what happens.
Why's your prediction squares wins?
I think in the lens of what you're looking for, I think he provides the best, I guess, like avenue to do something new. I think that you're very trying to branch out, do some fun stuff. I think that he could, service you in that way, I suppose.
Well, I will say this, obviously no spoilers, but the kind of conversation right there, that's essentially what the whole kind of first half of the finale is. These guys getting their pitches to me, thinking through how they fit in, how this would all work. And, but don't worry, there's some surprises. Obviously the announcement of the winner, very fun finale. Excited for you guys all to see it. That will be debuting live premiere on the So You Think You Can Tout channel, 2 p.m. Eastern. But before we can do that, Ron and I have to draft my 106th Best Ball Mania draft. What number are you at right now in your BBM journey, Ron?
I am at I have 61 to go. So,
Okay.
89, something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah. We do have the 103. The chalk goes off the board. Are you a Chase, Puka, JSN? You get funky. What do you do here?
I'm Chase here.
Yeah. I tapped into your stream for a brief second one of the nights, and I think I tapped in right when you said, I don't really have any strong opinions on anyone in round one. And I said, that's my guy right there. I don't think Ron Stewart, as a redraft streamer, would have been allowed to say that 2 or 3 years ago, being like, you don't have but now you're a best ball bro, and you're just 8.3% of everybody.
Dude, my exposures this year are sexless, man. My chat made me pull them up yesterday. I have across 235 drafts, I have 3 players over 20%.
Shame, Ron. You got to stand for something. You got to stand for all these Jets. They're all values, Ron.
That's the guys I keep draft. My most drafted player is Garrett Wilson, and then my second most drafted player is Brees.
Well, let me ask you, because it is a thing we've talked about a lot this year, where I think most reasonable people agree there are really strong values on, like, I think Brees, Garrett Wilson, Cooper, Sadiq. I like all of them. I think we can do the same thing for the Browns, Concepcion, Bannon, Boston. The question is when is the tipping point, especially in a game where we do like the idea of correlating? If you're right on Garrett Wilson, if you're right on Omar Cooper, well, then you probably want Geno Smith too. So how have you been handling that dynamic, even setting aside your laundry bro fandom, of how many of a bad team is too much on your roster?
Obviously, you don't want like a full onslaught, but I don't know. I hate to chalk things up to us not knowing much, but even the implied Vegas lines, which I love to look at, last year they had Seattle super low. I feel like there's a team or two every year that kind of comes out of nowhere, or even not even comes out of nowhere, but can they go from the 32nd implied team total to 18th in scoring in a given year? And I feel like you can get a good amount of hits from that scenario. And then even on the flip side, we saw like the Bears and the Jaguars were kind of like the stories of last season from an NFL standpoint. And from fantasy, they had some hits, but not guys that you couldn't win without, if that makes sense, right? Like when you think of like Etienne was fine. Brian Thomas Jr., for as much as the Jaguars were awesome, was like one of the worst picks on the board. So the team stuff matters, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'd say, like, if I was to give you a firm answer, I would say, like, if I'm going to go Geno, I want like 2 teammates max is what I would say. Or really 2 teammates max, regardless of if I have Geno, now that I think through it. Just because the touchdowns will be pretty concentrated or scarce in general, I guess.
I think for me, it's like, it's less about, I'm still okay to have a bunch of Jets. It's almost though like I wanted to isolate the one bad team. It's like, let me just get the Jets thing right. Don't also have 2 Browns and 2 Titans and a Panther on it, because then that needle is very tight. But if it's just, I need this one team to hit, I think I'm on board with that. We're on the clock. Nico, Pickens, Rashee Rice, Jeremiah Love, Nabers is soaring up boards here. What do you do?
I'm Pickens here.
All right, let's do George Pickens to pair with Jamar Chase. Have you been doing any 0 RB builds from spots like this?
Yeah, I keep saying that, like, this side of the board like keeps daring me to do it. Where you start with Chase and then the running backs get depleted, and then I like Jeremiah Love a lot, but not enough to take him 210 there. So I take Pickens and just kind of figure it out later. And you're seeing too is a lot of like, I know Liam just tweeted a picture of him doing 0 RB. Like, I don't know. We've been around here for a while. I know that everyone's like pronounced it dead, but we're gonna get one of these years where there's some chaos. But here I'll take Jeremiah Love. I've been taking him a lot.
It's the Jeremiah Love click here is interesting in that I think it's the right pick. I think it's the best pick. It's a click I want to continue to make. And yet the market is getting so fucking spooked by all of this talk and the Algiers are lead back, the classic bullshit that we're going to get with any kind of veteran who gets a rookie added to the mix. And so my only concern is, like, are we going to get like mid to late 3rd round Love and it's just like, be patient right now and let him get cheaper?
I don't mind that. If this was like a team where we took Bijan at like 102, I'd be open to kind of passing. But like, I'm curious, like, what's the alternative? You know, like, you can go. We missed out on McBride there.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about 27th overall Kyron, though. Maybe you could talk me into that. And then, like,
I'm not going to.
So then, like, we're looking at three straight wide receivers, which I don't know. There was once upon a time where maybe we would be more open to that. But I don't know. That's why it gets so tricky. Again, if it was Bijan, then I'd be less tempted to go Love there. If McBride was there for some structural stuff, but I feel like our hands were kind of tied to take a running back there just based on what came back.
No, I
Nabers
think
would have been cool if he was there.
Nabers for sure, because then you get the kind of very similar tier with Devontae. I guess it would be Breece. Are you in on Breece if Love's off the board there?
I'm in on Breece, but yeah, like after Love. I'm not dying to pull him up, and I think that he has similar drawbacks to Love. I guess you're right that the market's kind of falling out of favor with Love, but we're even seeing Breece fall in this draft here where, I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Jets, but we had the three-headed monster quote from Glenn. I wouldn't put it past him to get on a podium and say something stupid again here in the next couple of weeks. So, but yeah, I'm drafting a lot of Breece as well, dude. Like, the more that I do this, the more boomer I get. Where I take the projections from Mike Clay, Dwayne McFarland, and Rich Rebar, average them together and just get like a rough projection of like what the hell is going on here. And Breece just projects really strongly in terms from a reception standpoint, in terms of even in half PPR, even not having the touchdown upside of Kyron, Javonte, and those guys, he's still right in that range, which to me tells me that if you can find efficiency with the offensive line, where that's almost a thesis here, is that the offensive line has been brutal since like the Nick Mangold days. This offensive line has 2 top 10 picks at tackle. Membu, a guy that I think should have been on the Offensive Rookie of the Year ballot last year. And then Joe Tittman, who's like this unsung interior offensive lineman who's awesome. He's like this Wisconsin guard. He's got a mullet. He's 6'6". He just got a huge extension. And if these guys take a step forward, all of a sudden the offensive line is fine. I think Geno Smith is somebody that, say whatever you want about him, is going to throw the ball, check down, something that we didn't have last year with Fields and Brady Cook and then Tyrod. Like, there was just never an answer there. And I will say to all the critics out there, I keep getting that of like, you're a Jets homer. Last year I was out on all the Jets just because it was a pretty clear dumpster fire. But what I also say to that is, like, through 5 weeks, I was sweating the Garrett Wilson fade. Like, that one looked really wrong. And then we get lucked out by him getting hurt. And then even if he came back, I think Brady Cook would have probably killed him down the stretch. But I don't know. There's some talented players. This is the best on paper Jets offense since like 2015, I'd say.
For sure. And speak of the devil, dude, your guy, Garrett Wilson, slides 5 picks past ADP. I mean, win in Rome. We got to do it, right?
Yeah, it has to be Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
I was checking to make sure we didn't take Breece.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's a little tougher. The Breece and Garrett on the same one. Just, yeah. Love, Chase, Pickens, Wilson. The one thing I was going to say too about 0RB, and we didn't really need to do it here because Wilson fell, but this is starting to be a decent pocket at the 4-5 turn. You know, Montgomery, Swift, you can pull up Tootin as a last ditch resort. You got the Hendo, Judkins, Bucky stuff. So I haven't minded like having 3 wide receivers there, just knowing like, man, a Montgomery Tootin, like 4-5, like I'm on board with that. Do you want to grab another wide receiver at JMO, or do you want to get a Swift, Hendo, somebody like that?
Let's take Swift and take our medicine here. Why not?
Eat your vegetables, take your medicine. Take your vegetables, eat your medicine.
Yeah, something along those lines. I don't know. DeAndre Swift is a fine pick. He is somebody that, and we talked about it with the Jaguars, of sometimes these offenses don't churn anybody out, but give me the lead back on the Ben Johnson offense. He feels like he's priced fine, I would say. Was tempted to go Henderson there, but because he's another one where he is getting cheaper. There's been a decent amount of kind of Rhamondre bull posting and basically saying, hey, this is going to be the same thing that we had last year. It sounds like you might still be more fully in on the Henderson thesis. Yeah, it's something someone gets me going every day in my stream of, I don't know, just something that we've harped on for a while of, you can't just like copy and paste last year's results. Year 2 running backs have the biggest jump in terms of production over a running back's career. We've seen plenty of guys be like, you know, you can go back to Bijan as like year 1 was kind of a dud and then year 2 was awesome. Of course, not the same level of prospect, but there's just a chance that like week 1's going to be frustrating. I mean, it's funny. This is best ball, so we don't have to deal with it. But, you know, when we're talking like FFPC and stuff, it's going to be frustrating, but like we've done this long enough, especially, you know, maybe also, I like it archetype-wise that we didn't take Henderson there just because we took Love. Like, it's kind of going to be an equally frustrating experience of week 1, seeing an Algier goal line carry or seeing a Rhamondre goal line carry. But the hope is, and kind of what we saw happen with Henderson down the stretch, and then, of course, he gets like a weird concussion, and then Rhamondre comes back, and it wasn't as much of a smash as we would have hoped for. But there was a stretch there where Henderson was crushing in your lineup without Rhamondre. Of course, it took an injury, but we've seen in the past, like I always think back to like the second half of JT's rookie year, the second half of Nick Chubb's rookie year. of guys that just kind of dethrone the guy in front of them and become monsters. JT wasn't as clear cut as that, but you get what I'm saying.
For sure. Yeah, and I think that's probably the thing that's most exciting about Hendo, maybe even as you compare him to RJ Harvey. Hendo was a much better prospect, but again, two guys we were excited about. We saw what bell cow Henderson looks like. And it wasn't like, oh, we're only going to trust you with 10 to 12 carries. We're going to bring in another bruiser back off the practice squad. It was like, no, you can do this. Like, we'll trust you at the goal line. We'll let you do everything. So at least just knowing that bell cow ceiling is there is pretty exciting, even if the projection math makes it a little bit of a leap of faith in the early fifth.
Yeah, and the projection math, like even the projection guys are kind of like cutting it down the middle, where he kind of projects similarly to like Bucky and the guys in that range. And he can just get better. Like, what if he becomes a better pass blocker in year 2? What if he becomes a more steady runner? Like, all those things. Do
you stack up Burrow with Chase here? Is that your move?
Probably. I don't really see anything else that's that interesting on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, it always feels a little weird taking like Burrow ahead of a falling Daniels, and yet when you have Chase, it makes sense. The only other move would be like if you did like a Rhamondre or someone here, do you take Rhamondre first and then just let the quarterback decision come back to you?
Let's do Burrow and see. Or actually, no. Let's do Rhamondre. I like that idea.
Yeah, I was just going to see here. The Higgins drafter is well behind us. So, yes, sometimes people do naked Joe Burrow, but with those other guys, I think it's probably the right gamble to take there. Assuming that, do you have a tier break from like Rhamondre to the Pollard and Chuba types, or is he just part of that group for you?
A little bit, just because Pollard is an interesting bet just on volume, but the offense is so terrible. And then like all those guys like Chuba Hubbard in ahead. I'm all set on those guys. Like in that range, I'm just going wide receiver. Or the young ones.
I like how we played this. This is kind of like one of the cases for, not multi-table. You could do one draft. You could see what people have behind you. And then Burrow comes back to us. We get him 7 picks past ADP stacked up, and we squeeze in Rhamondre there.
Now, how do you like, because I feel like this is the age-old question in these. Like we have now drafted Rhamondre in our flex spot, and half PPR, that feels cozy. And I also like, we didn't take a running back through 2 rounds, so I don't mind like taking the running back side of that before the wide receiver and like building out depth there.
For sure. And like the thing for me is, we see QJ, we see Metcalf coming off the board. Like this tier here, Reed, Addison, Pierce, Sutton, Godwin, Worthy, Downs, for me, these guys are all part of that same tier. And so it always feels bad taking the first wide receiver from that run. Whereas like, I do like Rhamondre more than Pollard and Chuba and like grabbing him here. So yeah, this build I think is pretty ideal from the front half of the board. Burrow to Chase, Love, Swift, Rhamondre. And again, like pairing Love with a guy who, could have a slower start, if we're being realistic here with what the team's saying, then Swift and Rhamondre get you some of those early season points to get a Love team to the playoffs. And then with Chase Pickens and Garrett Wilson, you have 3 high-end target earners there. So yeah, I think this one's breaking well.
And I'll say too, something that's funny after me getting on my soapbox about Trevion and just, I guess, like the young running back archetype in general, is I have 11.5% Rhamondre and 10.6% Henderson. So I'm honestly drafting both, if I'm being honest. But especially in best ball, I'm drafting both. But I think it's a good backfield to target.
For sure. And it's maybe a little, as far as 2 teammates, it's a little pricey. I guess it's kind of, analogous to, when you're doing the Gibbs in Montgomery thing. Obviously, there's way more confidence in Gibbs there, but there is path. I mean, how many times in fantasy, I was kind of just saying this with Sam about the Rams backfield, where it's like, if that offense cooks, which everyone thinks they do, and you don't introduce a third back who's siphoning like 5 or 6 carries away, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is if you're pulling that from 2 other, fringe bets. I mean, both these guys can pay off if it's just those 2 in this offense is, I guess a top 6, top 7 offense. So yeah, I think being in on both of them makes sense. And you can get some pretty cheap Henderson right now, depending on the room.
Yeah. And the offense could even soar, man. Like this could be a like top 3 situation where we start talking about AJ Brown, where Drake May was putting up MVP numbers, like throwing to Kayshon Boutte and like the funky bunch. So, and some game scripts, can the defense regress a little bit? I think it could be fun.
So we're about to pick here at 8-10. We'll see if any bit of this wide receiver tier holds on. The tight ends have gotten a little wiped here with Laporta coming off the board. Dak is gone as well. We're not really hard pressed for a quarterback here, but you're kind of looking at like an Addison, Wilson, Worthy, Pittman. Addison is the slight faller here. What do you think?
I'm open to Addison. Yeah, let's take Addison.
I'm not the biggest Addison fan, so it doesn't.
It'd be him or Michael Wilson, and really Michael Wilson only because of the Cardinals. I don't have a strong.
That's true. In Wilson sliding a good
Addison.
bit. Yeah, let's grab Addison here. Yeah, I've been a little like just compounding all of the stuff with, the risk with Kyler. You get the deep ball stuff, but then they say like, hasn't Addison been bunking with Kyler? Aren't we getting a roommate narrative on those two right now?
I have a really hard time with that. Like, we just took him into his past ADP. Like, I'd take him here.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you're playing second fiddle to Jefferson and Kyler's the QB, I think I would go Fannin or Pitts here. Let's go Fannin. Let's have some.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Yeah, let's go Fannin.
I like Fannin here. I just put Brock in the queue. We won't do it, but just thinking, I was realizing like it's such a sick backstack now when you could do Kittle, Deebo, Stribling, all with cheap Brock. But we're gonna have a decent amount of quarterback outs here, and I do think Fannin is a value. And the question is though, we just said not too many Jets, not too many Browns, not too many Cardinals.
Well, that's why I was like, maybe
careful.
we do Pitts, and then it's like, the Falcons. I don't know. The Falcons aren't quite in that tier, but they're also not like a sexy offense, anyways. Like they have some third stringer throwing in practice right now that I should know the name of him, but.
For who?
The Falcons. They have like their QB3 is like the quarterback in practice right now.
Oh yeah, because both Tua and Penix are
I was saying I don't know his name.
I don't either. The chat will tell us here shortly, I'm sure. Let's see here. Minnesota Mike, where would be the best landing spot if the Cardinals trade James Conner? He's been on my menu in round 18. I've always heard the Lions like just jump Pacheco as like the RB2. Do you have another spot there?
That's the only one that sticks out. I would need like a list of the teams of the NFL here.
What about like does anyone ever buy the DJ Giddens thing? What if he went to the Colts behind JT?
I could see that. I think that I think that they would want more of a like maybe they signed Amir Abdullah for a split second last year. Like I think that they would really like somebody on passing downs if they were going to sign somebody, but I don't mind Connor there if they sort of see Giddens in camp and then also McGowan and they're just like we need a body here to spell JT. So that could make sense.
Yeah. Dallas, if they were looking where they like blue in a specific role but want the bruiser back insurance for Javonte, I could see that. I mean, Connor is basically just an older version of Javonte at this point.
If I was a boomer, I would say Miami. And that as much as I love Devon Achane, he is 188 pounds and they're not going to win anything. So
is Ollie Gordon still a thing? I haven't heard him mentioned in a hot minute.
I haven't heard him at all. I mean, I loved him. I loved him as a prospect, but him and Jalen Wright, honestly, and they got nothing.
I know, man. I remember when they took Jalen Wright. He was another just super fast guy. It's like, all right, here they go again, just stacking all these speed
that
freaks.
That class ended up being a wasteland at running back. I mean, we knew it at the time, but
was that the Brooks year?
Guys. Yeah, that was Marshawn Lloyd. That was Blake Corum, who I guess I don't know what you want to say about Corum, but yeah, like Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd.
That was a rough one. Ron and I are drafting a BBM team. We got Burrow stacked up with Chase, a little on Burrow at pick 75. We got the 3 running backs, Jeremiah Love, DeAndre Swift, and Rhamondre. Along with Chase, we got Pickens, Garrett Wilson, and Jordan Addison. Harold Fannin at tight end. We'll have to keep tabs on quarterback options here. Not a ton of obvious stuff. 1 pick away. You could do Mason as part of a Vikings thing here. I don't know if you like him or Jones more. Bills here. And then it would maybe be like setting up a quarterback backstack.
What wide receivers are available?
Kind of a tier break here. We're now down to Higgins, Shakir, Coker, Shaheed, Diggs.
Let's do Mason.
Yeah. We'll grab Mason here, build out the Viking stuff. And then, I mean, positionally, I think we have flexibility. I think the fear is, do we get to pick 142 and start to get worried about quarterback options?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Like a Love or Baker. Love backstacks are harder, but probably more intriguing. Baker stuff easier.
I think I'm Love.
Yeah.
Does he have anything against Minnesota on the back end? Maybe.
No. Minnesota, no. Yeah.
Is what it is.
I think Love is a value here at pick 123, 10 picks past ADP. I think it works.
I'm trying to think of who we could even there's no more Dontavion Wicks there.
I know. It's when you have
is really all we got.
Marshawn Lloyd, yeah, Kraft. It is crazy for how many Packers players go, with Golden inching up a little bit. Love seems like a nice value. If you're going to have 3 of his guys go, or 4 of his guys go top 110 picks, and then you still have him sliding, not too bad there.
I like Love. I've been taking a good chunk of him. He's somebody that, he's actually my second most drafted quarterback, Love, because he falls like this. And then we saw it 2 years ago, I think, where they were like 15th in pass attempts. I think there's a chance now that with like Micah Parsons going to miss early time, they lose their DC, Josh Jacobs, who really knows what's going on there. And then also, I don't know, I sometimes think on the human element, like, LaFleur probably sees these guys like Ben Johnson and Campbell and McVay and Shanahan having all this fun scoring all these points and passing the ball. I guess it's a little bit different with the 49ers where they're so run heavy and efficient. I guess they'd like to be like that. But I think I could see this offense bouncing back, even if the passing volume's not there. But I could see them just be like, Jacobs, even if Jacobs is healthy, he's kind of been inefficient. So why not run your offense through Love?
You did just jog my memory of, from playing the dailies, the BRs. And I would always over at in-game syndicate, Nerdy Tenor would run sims for the individual weeks. And he would show the rates of, how often it was optimal to skinny stack, double stack these various QBs. Obviously the ones you'd expect, like, Jackson Dart and Lamar, you could run them naked because they have so much rushing yards. But one who popped up as a naked option more often than I would have expected was Jordan Love, because of how spread out the offense was, where there were lots of weeks where none of those guys, because you can't project any of them for like a 30% target share, it's all spread out. And so you're not going to get enough points to have a top 10 finish in a contest with 60,000 entries or whatever. But there are weeks where Jordan Love throws for 4 touchdowns and there's big plays and all of that. And so he actually popped as a naked quarterback. So this is me coping and talking myself into naked Jordan Love at a value here.
So we're not taking Bo Melton round 18?
We can always entertain
Jersey
that.
boy, Rutgers.
That's right. Well, here I talked about the
oh boy. Am I just in here solo? Private chat, Pete Frozen. Am I? Okay, I think this is just my stream now, fellas. I was looking around like my Wi-Fi was the one that got screwed up. I don't think I can I can't pull anybody up here, but I guess it's time for me to just hang out, see what's good. I'll be honest, I was going for a second of like, man, do I got to go unplug a router? I was going to bring up the reason I brought up Bo Melton is because Matthew Golden was saying the Packers receivers all watched each other's high school mixtapes, and they said that Bo Melton had the best one. But then, of course, Matthew Golden was saying he was playing in New Jersey, which, like, look, we got studs in New Jersey, but to be fair, it's not quite Texas. But Bo Melton was a dog. Put respect on his name. So Ron thinks he can tout. I'm a bit hamstrung here. I can't even pull up chats on the screen. I can't make picks. It's just me. It's just me. I hope Pete doesn't screw up our team. Hope he doesn't screw up my equity in this team. Checking to make sure that Pete's not like frantically DMing me. Has this ever happened in the history of Best Ball Breakfast, fellas? Should I go tarps off? Oh, yeah, I will say, anybody out there? Oh, I got a private chat, probably from Pete. Ooh, his computer crashed. I will say, to anybody out there watching, I just dropped the draft guide. The basementdraftguide.com is out today. It has my rankings for PPR, half PPR, super flex. It's really a home league or like FFPC style site. It's not for your best ball, but very excited about it, very proud of it. You can find that on my Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. And of course, if you're on the Patreon, you get it for half off. If you're an annual sub on the Patreon, you get it for free. I think I'm giving out free game out here. All the value in the world. First product we're doing. I'm stoked about it. Ron, you hitting Florham Park this summer? It's tough. It's tough to do things outside of stream. Make videos, update rankings. Yeah, it's tough. Probably won't be in Florham Park to see a Jets practice.
Ron, I'm sorry.
Oh, what's going on?
My power went out and killed the internet, and the draft board wasn't even there anymore. Oh my God. This is going to be quite the reveal. Yeah, my power went out, killed the internet, killed my computer. Let's see who we got auto. This will be a fun reveal here. But actually, Ron, this was a test to see if you out as a solo streamer. And did you pass it with flying?
Yeah, well, I probably give myself like a B+. We'll see. We'll see how the judges determine how I did here.
Sorry for leaving you hanging there. All right, let's see what happened. So we got Dejon Stribling and Chigakonkwo both as rankings values there. So can we live with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's reset here. Sorry for leaving Ron hanging. Joe Burrow and Jordan Love. We got Jeremiah Love, DeAndre Swift, Rhamondre, Jordan Mason at running back. Chase Pickens, Garrett Wilson, Addison, and Stribling at wide receiver. Fannin and Chig. We'll make these picks, and then we can kind of talk through what we got autoed here. Quarterback, we can do the Geno thing. If you wanted to do like the Sadiq, Garrett Wilson, Geno, wide receiver. What do you Sadiq
like
goes
Sadiq there.
Yeah, you do it with AD Mitchell still.
Should we do the Jets thing?
You want to?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Why not? Let's have some fun.
I mean,
let's live a little.
Let's have some. You know what? You deserve this as a treat. I just abandoned you here to stream.
Well, I was also saying I blanked on the Week 17 matchup. We got Jets versus Vikings all lined up here.
You're right. Minnesota in the Jets. Mason there. Yeah, on the auto picks, Stribling at 142 seems fine. Chig never falls in drafts. Everybody loves Chig, so that seems good too.
Yeah, the Chig one is tough. He was somebody I chart every rookie's routes run, and he was a monster as a rookie. And I just have never been able to get in on him at this price, even though I feel like I was an early adopter.
Yeah, Solver likes the idea of Geno here as well. You want to get that Geno. Third quarterback stacked up? Yeah.
What's this going to be, like a 3-6-6-3? Maybe two tight ends? What do you think?
Yeah, what do we have? 16, 17, 18, 3 more picks. Yeah, I think Fannin Chig's definitely a tweener. Probably 3-5-7-3 would probably be my guess.
Plays by me.
Did I see catching your stream? We got you rocking Team Solver this year as well?
Yeah. Really the thing that put me onto the Solver is that I'm in too many slow drafts, man. It's really the Solver, like I think the best use case for it, and it's not something like slow drafts are kind of behind us now. I know a lot of people out there might still be joining them, and I don't want to discourage people, but I know Dubner has done some good research on like when the short clocks start, and that time has already passed. So I joined like I'm in over 100 slow drafts right now, P. I'm just gonna tell you something man to man. Like that's just where we're at. But no more after this.
I'll let you know what happens around here. We actually pulled up the Dubner tweet at the top of the show. And yeah, he called like 8-6, like last call to, even have a shot at avoiding those. But here's the thing, Ron, like I get slow draft shamed around here when I'm like, oh, I'm in, 65, 70 slow drafts. And then Karain and Davis and these guys will come on. They're literally in hundreds of slow draft. I think Karain at one point said he was in 400 slow drafts. So it seems like a brag, but to the chat, that sounds like a healthy amount for a best ball bro. So I think you're okay.
Yeah, I'm in 130, and like I said, that's it. I saw the last call. I don't even want to risk it really, especially when we're making content and stuff. Like the last thing I need is like the last week of August or like the first week of September, to have things like being like, hey, 2 hours to make 40 picks here, brother, and it's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you in that. So there you go. Consider this one of your final PSAs. If you are wanting to get in slow drafts, make sure you do it. Thank you, chat, saying my camera's a little glitchy here coming back from the internet. I will work on toggling this back and forth to get it humming again. Ron and I have 3 more picks to make in this draft. We got the Jets thing going, Ron, a little homage to you here. Let's see what we're looking at with these final 3 picks. All right. Man, Judy, Calvin Ridley, Gesicki are solver suggestions. We should probably look at running back stuff here. Tucker kind of last of a tier, just ADP wise. Do you like Tucker? Are there any other names here that tickle your fancy?
Damn, Marshawn Lloyd went, huh?
Yeah.
That was the guy I was really banking on. Let's do Jaden Blue around.
Do you know who else is no, he's long gone. You know who else is a good value here? Dulcich has slid 20 picks past ADP if you want a third tight end. I don't know if you like him. Or Tucker, do you prefer?
Let's do Tucker.
Oh, do you know what we can do, dude? Gesicki, if we want to.
Yeah, let's do Gesicki. Honestly, let's do that. The only reason I didn't say Gesicki is I felt like he'd probably come back to us, but I don't feel convicted enough in anything else to really care.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that as well. I think just getting Gesicki, the third tight end, double stacked up makes sense. And then if we do really just want to punt the final running back selection, we can. If there's a wide receiver you prefer here, but yeah, it's probably a running back and a wide receiver.
Let's go running back. I don't really. Do any of these look good?
Do you have any love for any of the rookies? The Singleton, Katron Allen?
What do you think about Braelon Allen? Or actually, should we wait for 18th for that?
Let's see here. I'm going to do it at the last second just so we get somebody in here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because so what? Like the thing on Braelon, it was, I think you mentioned it earlier, right? It was the quote being like, he might not even be the RB2. It could be Isaiah Davis. Yeah.
Put on 15 pounds of muscle and the guy's already 240 pounds or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just like a fine handcuff. And then I'd have to look back and do research of if this has ever paid off. But we talk ourselves into it every summer of like, you're going to bet on a passing offense. You bet on the handcuff because it kind of correlates. Because if Brees goes down, then all of a sudden they're going to go for top 10 in pass attempts. So that's at least the hope with this team.
Yeah. Yep. He's not someone I want to be going out of my way to draft, but if we are in need of a running back and we're ripping it in on the Jets, I mean, you are just playing the contingent thing of what, even if Isaiah Davis is involved, if Brees goes down, I mean, he's seeing what, 13, 14 touches a game?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to push down Braelon as a Brees guy, but he was somebody that was kind of electric as a rookie. It was a very short stint of time where the offense was humming a little bit, where he had like a touchdown versus the Titans where he looked like a good player in the NFL.
Yeah. Yep. And now let's get creative here with this final wide receiver pick. Sorry about my my video here, guys. It's just like glitchy coming back from this power outage. So we're just going to power through here, but we are going to land the plane with Ron. And then I'm going to be sending all of you guys over to watch the So You Think You Can Tout finale. Ron, as we wait here for our final pick, let people know you mentioned daily or nightly streams here. Mention the draft guide. What else should people be looking for?
It's all going on over at the Ron Stewart YouTube channel, streaming every day. We're going to be trying to get videos out as much as we can, whether that's a lot of my stuff is really more redraft managed focus. So it's going to be targets, fades, draft strategy videos, sleepers, all that stuff. Daily streams of the streams can be Underdog, but then a lot of times it'll be the high stakes FFPC or NFFC, and I'll mix those in throughout the summer. I've already gotten a ton of questions. The group chat has been fully fired back up between me, Jacob, and Liam. We will be doing a main event. Those are always very fun. And then, yeah, you can just get all of that, subscribe through the season. In season, I do, waiver wire videos, trade targets, all that. And like I said, we dropped the draft guide as well, the basementdraftguide.com. It's all going on, man. It's August. It's time to lock in. Daily streams from now through week 1. And I'm stoked about it.
We got to touch base on our do our ship chasing Ron main event collab as well. We're starting to get our schedule in order here for August, so I'll be in touch about that as well.
Hell yeah. Best time of the year, man.
It's fun. It is fun. All right, let's workshop this wide receiver selection here at the end. From a correlation standpoint, I don't think there's anything we're doing with Green Bay. We have exhausted the Bengals options. We have packed our team with Jets. We could look at bring back stuff. We've done the Minnesota thing. Cincy's Baltimore, so you could, entertain some Baltimore wide receivers there. And then Green Bay's Houston, so you could entertain like a Jalen Knoll as well. Why don't I get Ravens and Texans in here? Do you have Bateman goes, there's kind of the Surratt versus Lane conversation. Where do you fall on that?
I need Surratt on this team. This got to be
Surratt.
Surratt.
You need
Surratt. In a world of me not having convictions, Surratt is like my third most drafted player.
Okay, just uber productive in college. That's all I need.
Uber productive, and I think that there's a chance that he just becomes the new Mark Andrews, and Andrews is washed, and we get this like fun big slot role. And yeah, he's produced everywhere he's been, man. You can go back to St. Francis, PA. Everywhere he's gone to new teams, new quarterbacks, everything he's produced. I don't know if we're hunting for. I don't want to put anything too crazy out there. I think like the rookie year Christian Watson is kind of what you're hoping for, or like Chase Claypool. I'm not going to put out like Amon-Ra or Puka or anything crazy like that, but those like late season spikes, I could see it from Surratt.
Well, what's funny about that is I agree. Like you do the Amon-Ra in Puka and it sounds way too hyperbolic. And yet as a player, as Surratt wins, it would be in that way where he's just earning a ton of targets. Like he's not a Claypool type guy down the field where he's going to get it done with like 40-yard, contested TD catches. But yeah, man, like I think it's a good thesis and it's kind of the same stuff. I mean, obviously people were down on Fannin just because they're like, oh, rookie tight ends don't produce, the Browns, yada, yada, Njoku, you find reasons, but it's like these guys who are uber productive in college tend to continue doing that. It is a fun bet in that regard. I mean, he essentially broke Dwayne McFarland's rookie supermodel as far as guys who are that productive. It's, I think it's a fun bet.
Like, don't get me wrong. Those guys sometimes that like, I'm trying to think of those like day 3 guys that the models like, of course, sometimes they don't pan out, but then sometimes you get like a generational opportunity and it's Amon-Ra St. Brown or it's Stephon Diggs, like these guys that kind of fell through the cracks.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to recap this team, get your final thoughts. We have Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Geno Smith, also Jeremiah Love. All we needed was Love on this team. DeAndre Swift, Rhamondre Stevenson, Jordan Mason, and yes, Braelon Allen when you're drafting with Ron Stewart. Jamar Chase, George Pickens, Garrett Wilson, Jordan Addison, Dejon Stribling, auto pick, Adonai Mitchell, Elijah Surratt, Harold Fannin, Chigakonkwo, asterisk auto pick, and Mike Gesicki. Despite the power outage, despite the double auto click, how do you feel about this squad?
I like it, but it's doing myself no favors. I get shit all the time for being a Jets homer, especially this season where I actually like the offense, but I don't know. You get really reasonable prices on all these guys. Then all of a sudden you get Garrett Wilson, you get these Jets, and then the solver's like, oh, maybe you want Geno Smith on top of that. And it's like, give me Geno Smith on top, and we'll see what happens. So I'm a fan of it. We get Jeremiah Love. This is a team that is has a lot of players that I like. I draft a lot of Jordan Love. I draft a lot of Elijah Surratt. Draft a lot of Jeremiah Love. And I think we also kind of took our medicine in some spots with Swift, Rhamondre. It's not a complete slappy show on this team.
No, yeah, I like how this one shook out. Yeah, you do balance the love with the Swift, Rhamondre, Mason. You know what? It's like I was trying to think of what is this Jets thing like, where it's like every time you say, "Am I going to really do this again? Am I going to end up with a Geno Smith team?" And it is like the TV cliche of the detective who gets pulled in for one more last case, and he's like, "I'm done. I'm retired." And then you're like, "Well, Omar Cooper's a pretty good value here, Kenyon Sadiq," and then it's all right. Fuck, I'm all in again. Another Geno Smith team. So. It is hard to see, like, if you get multiple wins, could Garrett and Brees have just a high volume, high usage season where they pay off their ADP even with really bad quarterback play? I think so. I think they're both talented enough and can consolidate. But if a Sadiq or Cooper is smashing their ADP, it feels like a lock that Geno is at least average this year.
Yeah, I don't see why he I hate to draw everything back to the Seahawks. They were such a crazy outlier, but just because I can't really think of the other examples in my head of just we see it all the time. Like Vegas implied stuff is great, but there's gonna be a couple of these teams near the bottom that outperform expectations. I like the Jets and the Cardinals to both be those teams where I think like I'd be shocked if it was the Dolphins or the Browns, but that's kind of how I've been playing those like four. I guess I'd call them like the bottom feeders of those implied total charts. There's a chance that they're just, can they be like the 20th best offense in the NFL and be somewhat passable? And that's really all we're hoping for.
All right. Ron Stewart, appreciate you joining me. Apologize for making you solo stream there for a few minutes. Go check him out at Ron Stewart there, Twitter, YouTube, all of that good stuff, and keep an eye out for some future collaborations here. As I mentioned before, So You Think You Can Tout finale debuting here in less than 15 minutes. You'll get redirected from the stream. Otherwise, just search So You Think You Can Tout on YouTube. Very excited for you guys to see that finale. Otherwise, typical programming this week, except the only other new wrinkle, I'm going to add Wednesday Best Ball Breakfast. 10 a.m. We will be joined by the So You Think You Can Tout winner on Wednesday. And also, I just booked my two other guests there. We will have Ben Gretsch and Cooter Doodle who will be joining. So we're going to have an awesome rotating cast of characters there on the Wednesday Best Ball Breakfast. Thursday, randomizer / Best Ball Bash. Danny Heifetz from The Ringer, the great fantasy football Ringer podcast. He's going to be joining. That will be a fun time. Still have a few other shows to book and figure out this week, so you can stay tuned on Twitter and in the Discord for those announcements. Otherwise, enjoy the finale. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Producer Mark, shout out Sam, shout out Ron, shout out Levitan, and you guys, the chat, even you Jalen Naylor bros, of which I learned are legion today. I'm Pete Overzet. This is Best Ball Breakfast. Get your Vassaleros and Sons coffee on your way out. Promo code Pete, 25% off that first order and free shipping. We'll see you guys next time on Best Ball Breakfast. Peace.